What's up, everybody? Hey, man, we got the original. We got a full crew today. The original crew of the Smoke Lounge is in attendance. My man Lewis, Crypto, what's going on? And your host, myself, Shake Money. By the way, my numbers aren't up there with Pete, so I've been relegated to stir money. I'm no longer shaking; I'm stirring. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I also want to give a shout out.
Don't worry, Shake. We're gonna get you to the blender, man.
I want to give a shout out to a big special happy birthday to our T.F.T.G brother, Color, 47 years old, I believe. So happy birthday, my brother. I hope you're enjoying your day, man. But
yeah,
That's a
man.
fact.
One
Happy
day before
birthday,
leap
Color.
day. Happy birthday.
yeah, so
He was almost a leap year, baby. Man,
yeah,
one more day. He would had a one birthday every 4 years.
yeah.
uh,
So we're gonna be when we come back, we're gonna be talking about the tour. Lewis just sent me some stuff on Spotrac. We're gonna be talking about tour's possible extension, Chris Greer's press conferences, and we got good grades. It's coming right at you, baby. So hang tight and grab yourself a beverage. The Smoke Lounge is on the way, baby. As soon as I can find the fucking intro. Throw them fins up.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're
The hell?
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process makes shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Yo, and don't forget the fine folks over at W Energy Drink. You know, you click the link below. You click on the merch store. You know, we have W Energy Drink. I'm going to be getting the fruit punch. March 30th, we're going to be doing the WrestleMania review. I'm going to be drinking. I'm going to be trying the new fruit
Yes.
punch. I believe this is it right here.
I might be on site.
Yeah. So click the link, get the starter pack, see which one you like the best. Also, that Chef Jew cooked for you, my man Chef Jew in the Tri-County area, Miami, Broward, and West Palm Beach. Look at these fine desserts, all made from scratch. Cupcakes, cakes. He does all kinds of food from scratch. Chinese, soul food, barbecue, you name it. This man could do it. He has a passion for cooking, and trust me, if I was in the Tri-County area, I'd be looking to get him as well. Mention the Finn's Tailgate, and you get 10% off your first order. Let's give a few shout outs real quick. Daniel Berry, Suicide, Michael K, Daniel Berry, my man with the best name in the business, B McD, Costa Nostra, how you doing, my man? Trey, Villain, and my man Anthony. What's going on, hey guys? So, hey, listen. First thing, let me first start off by addressing. I want to address this, the good grades that we got. About what was the good grades? The best for training facility and all the good stuff, whatever. I mean, let's see if here first. I want to ask two things. Number one, why is this the first time I'm ever hearing it? And two, what were our grades before? Because obviously, if we've been getting good grades, we've probably we'll hear about this more often.
I think we were fourth last year, Shake, but I think Cap made a great point on the Twitter space earlier. If you look at that list, yeah, Miami graded out as number one, best ownership, best, facilities and stuff like that. But 32nd on that list was the Kansas City Chiefs, but they won the Super Bowl. So, at the end of the day, it's a good talking point. You want to hear good things about your team or whatever. So I'm not trying to shit on it.
Yeah.
But I do kind of agree with Cap too. At the end of the day, if you're telling me Miami is number one in all those categories and we're not winning playoff games and the team that ranked 32nd is winning Super Bowls, the math ain't mathing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would just say
Yeah.
it's good to talk about.
I was just trying to figure out what they use to grade it. That's all.
And you know what? I was going to point this out. All right. You look at McDonald's, you look at Walmart, you look at all these places that have millions and millions of customers. If you was to do a grading system like that, yeah, they want to be all A's. I could tell you that. At the end of the day, I mean, I think we look at the bigger picture. To be honest with you, fans, we look at the bigger picture. We don't care about. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I agree with you, but it's not something that you hang your hat on. It's like
Right, exactly.
It's like you saying, Lewis, like you come on here and say, "Hey, I'm a great dad because I feed my kids and I give them shelter." Well, it's not what you're supposed to do.
Crypto, you got feedback, homie. It's loud as hell, Crypto.
All right.
But you know what I mean? You're doing the stuff that you're supposed to take care of. Now, if they're honor students and if they become, you have the exception because your son is going to college and he's doing things. Your children are going above and beyond, but you're just doing the basics that you're supposed to do. I don't know how excited I should be about that.
Right. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, again, it's a talking point for some fans. And again, you always want to hear good things about your team and your organization and whatever. So again, I think, Shake, to your point, you're not trying to shit on it. I'm not trying to shit on it. I just don't know how much stock I put into it neither, right? Like it's
Mm.
that's not the end all be all for me. That we might be the cleanest team, have the best facility, have the best front. All that is great. I love hearing it, but at the end of the day, does that all matter? Because again, I didn't know that. I haven't seen none of the grades, but a lot of people went in there and said that the Kansas City Chiefs again ranked last in the grading system. When you put out, I guess, all the grades, they graded out last. Well, fuck, they just won the Super Bowl. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, right. Like,
But
wait, yeah, how we supposed to take that, especially when they rank dead last? Like, okay, everybody
Yeah.
voted them as at rock bottom, and it didn't matter as far as what they put on the field. The effort that they
And
actually
what's funny
gave.
is I want to address to what Stephen D was saying. Well, Tom Brady said he was sick of it, dude. No, if he was sick of it, he would have left 5 years ago. He stayed. You can tell me he stayed 20 fucking years, and now it took what 21 years for him to get sick of it. I don't know about
Yeah,
that
and
bullcrap.
that
really,
21st season broke his back, Shake Money.
and
That was the
really,
straw.
let's be honest. I don't think Tom Brady is the one that actually wanted to leave New England. It was Belichick that wanted him out of New England.
Yeah, they pushed him out more so.
Because I don't think it was
It
more
was
that
more
he
so
left. He got pushed
yeah,
out the
he
building.
was pushed out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you look, Belichick had the reputation push him out a year earlier rather than a year later. He'd
Yep.
rather let go of you a year early, like you said, like how we should have got rid of Xavier Howard. It's good to get you while you're on your last leg before you lose the last one. You know what I'm saying? Instead of losing you, kick you out when you already lost your last
Absolutely.
leg.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they was
Especially
probably
good value.
graded at the bottom too throughout that 20-year dynasty. I would say the average was probably at the bottom, right? You would guess, given that coaching philosophy, mentality, Mr. Mean Guy, a lot of guys that's not personable in the building. I would suspect, I don't have the actual numbers, that the Patriots through those years were graded pretty low too. That's just my guess.
No,
Not
I
just
don't think
Kansas
that
City. I
has
would say
anything to do with
Patriots
it.
would.
I don't think it has anything to do with it's an older stadium because the training facility has nothing to do with the stadium.
Mm-hmm. Right. The stadium itself, right.
No.
Well, we
But
got in the Cubs, we got great training facilities, but the Wrigley Field is Wrigley Field.
well,
It's an old ballpark.
it's like one of those meccas though. It's like a mecca. It's like the Yankee Stadium.
It's
Right.
the toilet bowl of Major League Baseball is what it is. Call it right.
Oh
Jake.
God, that's just ridiculous.
Nah.
It's just nonsense there.
Actually, the toilet bowl is in St. Pete.
It's the Taj Mahal of the Major League Baseball. It's the cream of the crop.
No, but listen, but on one thing I want to bring up tonight is the fact that everybody's talking about we need to get cap space by extending Tua. We need to get cap space by extending this guy. We need every dog fan is coming up with a scenario to get out of cap space hell, whatever. My stance on it is there's a saying that I've seen. 5 + 5 is 10. 6 + 4 is 10. 8 + 2 is 10. 9 + 1 is 10. So I'm saying that there's variable ways to get to 10. My thing is let's get to fucking 10. I don't care how we get more. Some people are more concerned about are trying to get their 10 versus listening to us, the Dolphins, how they get to 10. It doesn't matter how you get to 10, as long as you get to 10. If you get to 10 by this way and you don't like it, and we still got to 10, then that tells you right there's some kind of bias within you. If we get to 10 with Tua Tagovailoa and you're still not happy, something's wrong. And vice versa. If we get to 10 without Tua Tagovailoa and you're not happy, something's wrong.
Well,
Okay.
I would agree with that, Shake. I agree with all that. I know when it comes to the Tua talk specifically in the contract, if what I seen today is true, and if what I'm hearing, well, hell, let me not even say what I'm hearing, because I've been telling people this for, let's say, the past, month now, exactly what I thought this deal was going to be and how I thought the team would structure the deal.
Yeah.
I know we'll probably get into it later, Shake.
Yeah. We can
Boy,
get into it now if you want.
it is spot on,
Uh-huh.
and I think if this is true, this is a win for all parties. It's a win for Tua. It's a win for the Dolphin organization. It's a win for us as fans, right? Because Shake, I don't know if you could pull it up or whatever.
I'm reposting it and I'm gonna pull it up on the big screen.
I bet. Because Spotrac has Tua Tagovailoa's projected contract, right, at 4 years, $220 million, with 105 at signing, right, guaranteed, and the money fully guaranteed of that 220 is 165. And I've been telling everybody from the jump, in every contract, not a Tua contract, in every contract in the NFL, it's guaranteed money is what matters. That is what matters. And if you mean to tell me you're paying Tua Tagovailoa $165 million, there it is right there, $165 million fully guaranteed, but 105 of that is coming at signing, you do realize the next basically 3 years is the only thing you have left of $60 million guaranteed if you want to break it down, or even 2 years, right? Bro, that's $30 million basically a year. And even if you want to do the 4 years at 165 million, if you break it down per season,
30 million per.
It's 37. It's $37.5 million a year. That is a win. Tua has generational money. The fans don't get what we want because we'll have an out under, again, with this contract. If this is true, 105 at signing, you're basically giving yourself an out in 2026. That's not a 4-year, 5-year extension. That's a 3-year, basically. Next year and the 2 years after that. And really, you could probably get out of that if you really wanted to.
Upcoming off season, yeah.
And you know what?
At the very tail end of 2025, you could do it.
And by the way, one thing that Omar X's and Omar was talking about, when they do this extension, remember, this is going to be attached to the fifth year deal. So it's really a 5-year contract. So you're going to suck in the 23 million with that as well. You're gonna lump in the 23 million with that. So at the end of the day,
add it into it.
So if you add 5 years, add 23 million and add 23 million and divide that to 5, that's where pretty much what it'll be averaging out to.
Right, on top of the brand new contract, yeah.
Yeah.
You spread it out because it's guaranteed part. Yeah. They have a built-in out where, because all of his money is guaranteed up front, a chunk of it, they can, have a low dead cap hit at 30 after 2026. At that point, yeah, that will be interesting if this actually the exact specifics, of the contract. So it's like it was like 6 other quarterbacks that was due to resign. It was pretty interesting. The contracts that they were doing. But yeah, to Lewis's point, it's a win-win for Miami being able to get out of it if it doesn't work out, that they can transition on easier with this kind of a contract, because they won't have to pay nobody. There would be a rookie quarterback on his rookie deal as an out to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got 2.5 years to win or go home. This is a win or go home contract in 2.5 years for Tua. As far as Greer,
So there you go. I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna take on 1 minute, one at a time. You get 10 minutes. If not, we'll continue to discuss what we're discussing. So we're gonna get your opinion on Tua's contract. What do you think of Christian Wilkins?
What do you mean?
Who
Like
do
as
you
far as them
who do you
doing it?
want? Who do you want to see? Who? All right. Let me ask y'all this:
Yeah.
Who is priority number one for you?
The offensive lineman.
Hunt.
Yeah. Whatever
All right.
contract on the offensive lineman is up,
Now let's
which will be
talk to our
Robert
first
Hunt.
caller. What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Hey, Crypto. Hey, Shake. I
Hey,
have a question. With that contract you guys were just talking about, uh, the way that you guys are talking about, is it set up how the Giants have the contract with Daniel Jones, where they actually got out after the third year of his contract? Like, and
yes. After the
Yeah, with the money's
technically
guaranteed.
the
Yeah,
third year, but you can go as push it towards the end of next year, at
yeah,
the
you
end
can
of
front load it.
2025 season. Yes.
that's so we don't. So this contract doesn't automatically set up, like, activate the nuclear option that we have. That his contract is not activating the nuclear option. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it affects our cap down the road. Like, you know how the Saints
Mhm.
Yeah,
did
down the
with Drew
road,
Brees.
it's still going to affect it because most teams do when they have big contracts, they'll push it off. But the job for them is to minimize how much it affected. And I guess this is the least that they can minimize it, how much it affect them. You're going to always have an affected on the back end if you're paying
Is
somebody
the
up front
deal,
like
like,
that.
when it
But
comes
it's not going to
to
hurt as much as the Saints did
I have a
because
question
Breeze's was a
for you
bigger
guys.
contract.
Who's when it comes to these fully guaranteed deals, do you guys feel the Kirk Cousins contract hurt the bargaining chip for the owners, or the Deshaun Watson deal?
Now, Kirk Cousins actually helped because it's smaller. They can get out of something smaller versus Deshaun is much longer. He's
No,
locked
no.
in
What
for
I'm
5
saying,
full
as a whole,
years.
which contract do you think owners hated more? The Deshaun
Watson's.
Watson?
Yes. It will only hurt is Cleveland's got 5 years to win a Super Bowl. Now they have 3. 2 is already gone. He start getting paid next year fully. So if they don't win the Super Bowl now, when then that's when it really burns.
I thought the deal
For
that would have
whatever the
hurt the
contract
most
is, that's how many years they got to win the Super Bowl.
And
Yeah.
by the
If they
way,
don't do it in that time, then it's a totally bad contract.
you know what's cool? Here's the thing. We'll see how because
the
you know
Patrick Mahomes contract.
the
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns have a new offensive coordinator. You might know him. He was he played in a D2 school in Coral Gables, a trash school in Coral Gables. Ken Dorsey,
First of
a
all,
very overrated
at least
quarterback.
he's not the Florida Lizards.
Well,
No,
Ken Dorsey, didn't they have good
he's the
numbers with
Miami
Allen?
Rainstorm. The Miami
First of all,
afternoon.
at least
That's a hurricane coming your way.
No,
So
they're the Miami Hot Winds. But anyway,
let's see.
yeah, they got Ken Dorsey as the offensive coordinator, and I think I want to see. I bet you there's gonna be a lot of Buffalo Bill fans who didn't like the Dorsey firing. See how if it was him or was it Ken Dorsey? I mean, Josh Allen that was screwing up things last year.
yeah, and back to the contract. Do you guys like what I was? Do you? I thought the deal that owners would have hated the most. Sorry, my dog's barking in the background. Sorry. Well, what I was gonna ask Shake is, I thought the contract that was gonna affect the owners the most is the Patrick Mahomes contract, because that's a longer contract as a whole. And look how much money he has. He has more guaranteed money than Deshaun up front, I think. Doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
No,
I thought that contract the
Deshaun's
owners
a
would have hated.
bigger. It's
Huh?
fully guaranteed.
Yeah, it's fully guaranteed. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and what you asked, what signing? I've been saying this. I think we're going all defense in the draft this year. We're gonna trade down and accumulate more picks, and draft linebacker, safety, corner, and defensive line and stuff like that. So I think we get Cameron Kitchens in the first round and pair him up with move Javon to his natural. I like the Javon, but I think he's a natural what we would consider a natural in the box guy. Do you guys agree? His
I like
coverage
him
is
at
okay, but it's not like what you would want with a single high safety. Crypto, you agree with me, or am I being too harsh on Javon?
Well, Tony, I think the reason why
Hang on.
the reason why Josh Allen looked better under Joe Brady is because Joe Brady took the ball out of Josh Allen's hands.
So Shake, what do you think on
I don't
what
know
I'm
if he
saying?
completely took it out of his hand.
Yeah, he took it more out of. He ain't completely, but he took it enough where he won't fuck up.
No, and the reason why I'm more
He's like,
worried about
he's
Well, he
like, hey,
still messed
listen,
up enough against us.
He's hey, like, look, he's like, hey, he's like that the parent that goes, can I borrow the car? Where are we going? To the corner store. Okay, I'll let you borrow the car. Can I borrow the car? Where are you going? Out of town. No, you ain't borrowing the car. You ain't driving that far.
I used the wrong word when last night when we were on the panel or the night before, where I said I fear that Greg Roman is going to screw up Josh Allen's talent. What I meant is it's going to screw up his development because
What's up, Scott Jackson?
Because we know Josh Allen for his elite passing. I mean, Justin Herbert. That I fear that taking away the ball makes it look like you don't have faith in your quarterback in the critical moments and stuff like
It's
that.
not taking away the ball. That's not. This illusion that they're going to all of a sudden run the ball 80 times a game is a fantasy. This is because he said that. Mike McDaniel said he was going to run the ball more, and our ratio was still virtually virtually the same. We just was more effective because Mostert was actually scoring touchdowns on the runs that he was given. Our run percentage was exactly the same as the previous year. But he's told us in the press conference that he was going to. He just said he just sit up there and told everybody to appease. And that's why I say you got to watch out for coaches' appeasement to the fan base to make them feel good. And he said that, well, I would like to run the ball more. And what happened? He duplicated the same percentage. But guess what? His run game was still more effective because we scored more rushing touchdowns with the same percentage of runs. That's the difference.
About the
anyway,
listen,
Anthony. Let me get to the next caller, man.
Okay, bye. Have a
I
good
appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Like I said,
okay, have a good day, guys.
You know,
all right.
Papa Paul, what's going on?
What's up, Papa Paul?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna. I'll be ready for you at 8:45. We'll be closing this thing down at 8:30, so we have enough time to catch you live at 8:30. What are you guys cooking up on the West Coast?
Okay. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So what do we got going on tonight, brothers?
What's on the menu? No, I'm saying what's on your menu? What do you guys got in store for us tonight on the West Coast?
I know Winters wants to talk about this whole Hill bit with this gal's broken leg and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is
we'll leave that story to TMZ.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if she's out there running these routes with these people, anything can happen. You know.
But, yes, definitely hit the like button, please.
Yes, most definitely hit the like button for these guys.
Well, let me ask you a question. Lewis sent me a thing on Sport Track. We asked a few questions from the callers. We're doing callers now, right?
Okay.
What do you think? Tua's essentially here's what the contract. They're saying that Tua is going to get projected to get a 4-year, $220 million, including a 1.5 fully guaranteed at signing, and 165 million practically guaranteed through 2027. So it's like a 3-year, like a 2-year out on that. So
yeah.
3-year out.
My personal opinion is he's gotten better every year, but he still has not proved he needs to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I feel they shouldn't give him any contract extension this year. They should let him play on this 5th-year option and see what he does this year. If he can win us the games that we need to be won, then give him the frickin' extension. Otherwise, no.
I got you. And I can understand that point of view as well. Yeah.
But I
Because it's more so use the 5th year as a prove it year to get your even bigger contract next year.
Yeah, why not?
Shout out to the Jefe in the
What's
building.
up, hell,
What's going on,
Captain
Jefe?
Tom?
What
Yep.
up? What's going on,
Gotcha.
guys?
Hey,
Just
Capitan.
was
What's
watching the
happening?
show. Figured I'd pop in for a
What's
minute,
happening?
see what's going on. There's been all this talk,
No,
there's speculation.
Cap. I'm expecting if we don't sign Liam Eichenberg to that big contract, we have no shot at beating anybody in this league at this level. We have to get that deal done before we start.
We don't
anything.
have to because Eichenberg's under contract. So,
By the way, Bill, we'll get to you in about
No.
9 minutes.
and
He needs his
with
money
that
now.
same logic, I'm leaning to where Papa Paul is at. Tua is under contract, so that's just the facts, everybody. Now there is chatter, and I understand the fiscal benefits to signing him now. Chris Greer, as you guys know, he had been quoted by the Daniel Elfusier from the Miami Herald as saying that the Dolphins this offseason won't be making any splash moves like they have in years prior because of Tua Tagovailoa's extension. That is tipping the cap that is a pretty much certainty at this point if he's talking about what moves he's not going to make in the offseason because of the signing of the quarterback. It puts a damper. It puts the clamps on us because say that they do this contract that's in question. It's one that we've all seen floating around, right? It says $222 million contract, 165 of it guaranteed. He'll get 105 of it at signing bonus. The cap hit for this season would only be $15 million, which in theory for the short-sighted and people who don't understand arithmetic very well sounds like a good idea.
More so,
But
I don't read
following
comments from the
years-
peanut
the following
gallery
years,
or the
you
fascist
carry the
gallery.
dead cap, just so you guys know. That
Well-
means in 2025, you would essentially, for the next 4 years, you'd be paying him $55 million, $55 million, $60 million, $60 million. That means he would be in 2025 and on, depending on what other new contracts get struck up, he would be making, if Aaron Rodgers is out of the league, he'd be making pretty much the most money out of any quarterback in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
Which
And-
would be
and by-
astronomically a swift kick to the nuts for the Miami Dolphins organization.
By the way, I listened to half of the press.
We're getting rid
conference.
of 20 teams because of their centers is not adequate. It's not on the level of Eichenberg. So unless we play that, that's the standard.
You'll never afford an Eichenberg with money like that, Crypto. Go ahead, Shake.
But no, I was saying I was listening to half of the press conference before I jumped on here, so I got some talking points. And the one thing he did say is the fact that he said, listen, every team, every year, you could do splash moves once in a while, but you can't do splash moves every year. It's not sustainable. So so he's trying to say is has nothing to do with 2D. He says there's going to be some years where you can't do splash moves. So at the end of the day,
I got you. But he insinuated because of Tagovailoa's contract, this is the running theme.
The Cincinnati Bengals should get rid of that
that's
center because they're not winning the Super
well,
Bowl.
that's because that's what they want to gravitate.
Here's the thing, though, Shake, is that I don't necessarily think the Dolphins are a team that needs splash moves. And it's going to bring up 2 points. Number one, I think we need to retain the talent from walking out of the door we already possess that could be leaving. We're talking about Robert Hunt. We're talking about Christian Wilkins. We're talking about, to me, top of my list, Andrew Van Ginkel. That's just a personal preference. I'm a big fan of AVG. I think everybody in the fan base is cult favorite.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, I'll be super upset if I see Andrew Van Ginkel on another team and he's only making $7 million a year. I'm gonna be upset if he's getting, hometown money for an away team. That's gonna make me upset. But
you and me both.
Yeah, I bet the fan base at large should be screaming from the mountaintops of it.
Oh well, my wife's just really been watching the last couple of years with me, and she's never picked a player, but she is in love with AVG.
Of course, what's not to love about the guy, dude?
She wants his jersey.
And Villain, I'm gonna have you on in 5 minutes, Villain. Just hang tight.
Yeah.
But no,
I got a quick question for you, Cap.
All right.
Because you know a lot of the ins and outs of the cap and everything.
All right.
Okay, we have the cap, but what's not to say, especially since Ross wants a win so bad, why can't he just write a check to Hill or Tua and say, this is a Christmas bonus for you, and it has nothing to do with the cap or anything?
Doesn't work like that. These billionaires, if that was the case, guys would be signing $1 million deals, but, having their own private Lear jet. Don't get me wrong, there is backdoor deals being done. Let's call it for what it is. There's certain types of payola that guys are going to be able to swing and get, or we'll call it, what's the word I'm looking for? Like severance type of packages. Hey, you know what? You're not going to make the money you want, but but it's not so they're watching all that intently.
So they can't, in words, be under the cap by doing stuff like that.
Well, you notice it's not like college football, right? Where family members get jobs. You know what I'm saying? The whole family moves to a town and the town can spread it out and all that stuff. If that was the case, Ross would give Teron Armstead would have already had a yacht and he would retire. You know what I'm saying? That's how that would work. That doesn't really work like that. So, no. That's I mean, look, I'm sure there is some form of something going on, but not to the extent you would like to see a bunch of billionaires play dirty, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not really happening
like they don't already,
So, but yeah.
But here's the thing too. Chris Greer never really said that. Oh, we're trying to hopefully get this thing be by the time the season the season opener. So that with Tua, so that tells you right there. If he's trying to get that between the season opener, he's obviously not going to try to use Tua's money to open up for the first wave of free agency.
Yeah, agreed. But Dolphins do have money that they're going to be getting back in post June because of players they're getting. It still doesn't put them under the cap, but if they get under the cap and sign players and they're saying negative, $4 million, it doesn't matter that after June 1st, they're going to get I think it's $18 million back. So then you're still going to need around $8 million to sign your players and have operating capital for during the season. That's the numbers nobody's really talking about, right? The numbers you got to sign your young guys that you're going to draft, and then you also got to retain some sort of fluidity because somebody goes down with an injury, and you got to sign a guy even though it's, a minimum. Doesn't matter. You still got hundreds of thousands of dollars you need to retain so you can sign guys during the season. So there's a lot of movement that's going to happen. And I've talked a little bit about it. I've told a little bit about it of what I've been hearing. There is going to be all sorts of money manipulation. Like Zach Sealer it's looking like the Dolphins are going to offer Zach Sealer a extension and give some front end money to rework his deal and put another year on, spread it out, and get a bunch of money back. You know what I'm saying? And it's a wise move. But here's the thing: they're just manipulating the cap, right? They're just manipulating this year. It doesn't mean we're not going to stroll into this time next year and be another $60 million under the cap.
Yeah,
but you can play and ride in that train, and even you could be negative $60 million in cap, but sign Waddle and Phillips in that offseason, and Javon Holland with negative $60 million in cap. because you can then take their money and say these guys are only making $1, and I'm 40 years down the line is when I'm going to have to pay them all that money. So it certainly is something we're going to see a lot of flexing going on. But the real deal, and this is it, like if and when they pay Tua, they are on this run for the next 3 years. That's it. And it's only going to end in either success or epic failure, where we will be blowing this up
Costa Rica
again.
character, he's a fascist.
Costa Rica.
Is he?
Costa Nostra.
Cosa Nostra?
Casa
Yeah.
I
Nostra.
see him.
That guy.
Yeah, not Costa Rica. Costa Rica is full of Costa Ricans, and they don't give a shit about much. They're
Yeah.
But anyway, Paul,
I
Paul,
actually had,
sense of
I
play
actually
on
have a
words with his
friend who
name,
has
huh?
a resort down there in Costa Rica.
Word.
yeah, listen, all I know is Costa Rica is like the bunny ranch of the of South America.
Oh, word up. True. Definitely gonna have to check the data and do some research on that, Shake.
Oh yeah.
Just like he's the bunny ranch of Dolphins fans.
Whoa. Damn, shots fired. I'll tell you what, there was something I was gonna talk about. Got into a little bit of a argument. I don't want to say argument. Dude, I got a real problem with the way a lot of these people be moving out here. Some are creators, some are just fans, some are people who think that they've got some kind of clout because they've got 20,000+ people following them on Twitter. It's just a lot of people just flap them gums, forgetting that there is a real universe that you do have to live in. And I don't like it. I don't like when people tell people what to do. And I had an episode not too long ago talking about the softness in this football team and this ranking that just came out, right? About who's the best franchises to be at. Oh man, what an illustration of softness. Am I right? Because they're like, hey, the Dolphins as a community, fans, players, whatever, they voted A+, A's across the board. Some A-minuses, but A's and A+. And the Dolphins organization, along with the Vikings, are number one as far as player. What the fuck was it even about? I don't even remember. Facilities or some shit. Then at the very bottom, dead last, that players voted good things about the facilities and working there, like work. It's like a review for like workplace environment, right? That's what this essentially is. People are talking about it like a ranking system, but really it's employees saying, I love to work in this workplace review. And dead last was the Chiefs on this list, where proving to the point that the hardest road travel is the most rewarding road to take. No further evident than the Chiefs being dead last and everyone liking working there. Guess what? They all hated it. They hated it, but they hated it all the way to being fucking champions. Sorry for cussing. I'm trying not to cuss so much on the episodes anymore. But this is it's imbecilic, and I see people going around, and all that I could think, the second I read it, it started to enrage me a little bit, and I thought, oh man, that fucking slide, here I go again, cussing, that stupid ass slide is really paying off now in the weight room where I could slide down to the bottom level. And I know, I get it, right? I get the keeping spirits high and all that stuff. But don't tell me that these are necessity things for team building and we got to make sure to talk to people nice, and you got a room that's a dark room with little eggs in it, and you could stick yourself in and snuggle up with a Snuggie and get in your safe place and, freaking cry about your vagina hurting all the time, you fucking pussy. Again, I'm not saying that these places don't exist, but the reality is the team that had the worst comfort won the Super Bowl. Okay? So the data is completely upside on itself. And I don't like that people are crowing about it in the fan base. Yes, it's a good thing. Hey, great. We're number one on a list that doesn't matter again. Sure. But here's the deal, right? And here's something that this is how I
And we're also
rounded out
number
from
one
the
on no
soft
playoff,
episode.
longest drought with no playoff wins.
Huh?
We're also number one on team with the longest playoff
Thank
drought.
you, Shake. You are bringing me back around again. I really put a lot of emphasis on color and painting pictures when I do my stories, as you guys know. So coming back around again to the episode where I called out, I was asking if the fan base, or excuse me, if the team was soft. And I said that I dissolved it down in that episode that it's the fan base that made this organization soft. It's us. And I blame myself because I turned my back. I turned my back on the team. I didn't watch closely and intently like I used to. I wasn't involved in the Dolphins community like I was when I was younger and stuff like that. And when I came back to this community, it was filled with a bunch of fucking pom-pom leading, good vibes are going to get us
Kiss the
victories. And I was
rainbows
like,
and
what
Lucky
the
Charms.
fuck, dude? I was like, good vibes are getting us victories? No, they're not. Good vibes don't give you victories. Hard work and being the biggest killer on the field gets you victories. Anyhow, I'm getting pissed off.
Listen,
So,
I get my good vibes from the liquor.
Huh?
I get my good vibes from the liquor.
Well, listen, and you don't even have to drink to have the good vibes and be tough. You know what I'm saying? This is a tough sport.
No, if you're a
but
Dolphin fan, you do
here's
it for the good
what I
vibes.
was coming back to. Here's what I was coming back to is that people who are discouraged about the team and seeing this number one in stupid rankings again were like, yo, ooh, yay, glad about that. Can't wait. That really helped us a bunch. Well, then there's people that are like, I'm going to read a comment here from a guy, Chris Kaufman from 3 yards per carry. That's right. Called the name out. Don't give a fuck. He blocked me on Twitter because he's a bitch. That's what bitches do. Because he did a bitch move, right? A Dolphins fan saw his list of number one out of the 6 of the 7 individual NFLPA categories.
Hey, Cap, can I say something real quick? Because I
Huh?
think I got the best perspective on this because I've been a fan of a team that had 108-year droughts between championships. I could say this much because the Chicago Cubs has been the best world-class organization since 1909 to 2015 doesn't make them freaking special within that 108-year gap.
No.
No. The poor souls, just because they was a world-class organization, it didn't lead to no World Series in between 1909 to 2015. But yet the Chicago Cubs was constantly rated as the number 1 organization in baseball. So
And not only
take that to the bank.
Crypto, think
They
of
had it
how
108
popular,
years.
How popular of a team.
How popular we was.
How
the beloved
how
Cubs.
popular throughout that entire time. People cut Chicago Cub hats, the whole nines. Anyhow, let me
We
land on
sold
my
out
point.
damn
So
that
Chris
every
Kaufman
game.
for 3 yards for carry, right? Somebody reposted what his tweet was about being, NFLPA category number 1. Yay! We're on the teachers good grade award. It's like having all F's in school, but having perfect attendance. It really, you missed. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can be here and we're going to give you this stupid perfect attendance award, but you're failing everything. Anyhow, Chris Kaufman said to a fan, Dre, who retweeted his tweet and was like, yeah, and winning playoff games in all of sports, he's pointing out, we are last. That's the truth. We might be first in a world-class facility, but we are last in winning playoff games in the NFL right now. The Lions just took that, finally fixed that. He says, seriously, why don't you go ahead and go be a fan of a different team? This must be miserable existence for you. You literally can't see a single positive thing about the team without bringing it back into your feelings. Got so hurt because they lost the playoffs. And therein lies my problem. Therein lies the problem. I don't care that Chris Kaufman doesn't like that Dre on X was negative and he doesn't like his negativity. I didn't mind that Chris Kaufman's going to sit here and, shit rainbows and sniff his rainbow farts to be all happy all the time. What I mind is that you don't want this guy to, your perception of negativity has created this fantasy of these fans that have infested the multitude of the fandom of the Dolphins into buying into crap and thinking that positivity wins football games. It doesn't. Maybe the team positively, right? Like if the team thought positively, sure. But look no further than the movie with the Indians, where the owner was trying to tank the team and they fought back against adversity. Adversity, the tough road, the hard fought battles, the team doing it for them. And it's a fight. It isn't about positive vibes. And these people that always want to keep positive vibes during the negative crap that's happening are assholes. They're idiots. That's what cucked, dumb little wimps that, you know, their wife wears the pants. Sorry, your wife wears the pants on you. You're a bitch. That's that type of attitude.
How many more years until the year 2080?
It allows you to be a part of a bigger problem. That what accountability are us fans having over this organization?
2080 is
Well,
56
it's a good thing
years
my wife
away.
can't fit my pants.
That's
I'm
exactly
just saying,
Pop.
right?
Everybody needs to do that exercise. Add 56 years to your age, and that makes us the Cubs 2.0. It'll be a 108-year gap.
Yeah, again. There's tons of these types of fan bases that are out there, and listen, I'm not saying that if you're a loser team. Okay, case in point, the Lions fans. They hung in there the whole time. It's to be respected. People felt empathy to Lions fans, right? Look at them now.
I agree, hooked up, Joe.
Look at them now. And the fact that they held in, it's to be respected. But I promise you, they were shitting all over their team when there was something worth shitting on. And even when they started getting better, they, were still critical of their team. Yeah, they might be a little bit head in the clouds now, but look how far they went. If we were where the Lions were last postseason, I would feel differently. But the fact that we have been the same thing in the same rebuild, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're allowed to be pissy about it. And when we let people try to go around here and say, well, if you're not going to be Mr. Positive and clap your butt cheeks every time the organization wins a participation trophy award, then we want you out of the fan base. Well, I say to you, I will not leave this fan base, and the likes of us that feel this way will not, because we're not going to let this fan base turn into a bunch of cucked pansies up in this bitch. We ain't going to have all y'all clapping your booty cheeks every time the freaking team and franchise gets a participation trophy award. Not
I don't know.
happening.
People don't like clapping their booty cheeks just to clap their booty cheeks. They just maybe need a reason.
Well, El Capitan, I agree with you. Because it's just like I've said before. People are like, well, look at all the records he broke, and look at the records we did this year. Well, records don't win us fucking games.
Doesn't, buddy.
Not at all.
It doesn't.
We've been through the record era already.
I'm not
right,
saying
Papa
that the
Paul?
records shouldn't be respected, though, Paul. No, nobody's saying that. But what we're saying is, don't flash
settle.
around.
Right,
Don't
just
come
don't
around
settle.
here with your
that's all.
participation trophies and try to show it off. We can acknowledge them. We can say good. But when you're showing off participation trophies, it irritates us. It's shut the hell up, nerd. Shut up, nerd. I know it's kind of like an old school 1980s bully mentality, but you're being a total dork about it right now. Yes, be cool, but you're not playing it cool.
Scene in Back to the Future.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking whatchamacallit you. I'm gonna biff, I'm gonna be your biff if you don't leave me. You don't act right.
I gotta say real quick, at DCC this weekend, I had a great time.
Great,
but I actually got to talk with Jalen Phillips for quite a bit while I was there.
Cool.
And he's walking around looking good. He's way ahead of schedule, really.
That's great.
No boot, no cast, nothing, no crutches, walking around. He's got a minor limp, but what do you expect? He just, what 3 months ago?
Yeah, but we know this, Papa Paul. Buddy is an Adonis world class physique. He was going to heal fast. Whether or not he'll be ready week one, that'll be debatable. But, man, it's good to hear good news.
Even me standing next to him, I had to look up a little bit. He's got me by an inch or two.
Really? You're a big dude, Paul.
Yeah, man, he must be real tall.
He is. He is. I told him he's a tall drink of water, and I mean, we talked. I'm even he's even got my card. He's supposed to be in contact. He might be on my show sometime soon.
Oh, cool.
That guy's a giant if he's taller than you, Paul.
He is. He's a beast. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got a great physique. He's a wonderful human being. I mean, great to talk with, appreciative of everything. You know, I even brought up to the fact where last year near the beginning of the year, if y'all remember the article where he was doubting himself some,
Okay.
I told him, I said, you should never doubt yourself. I mean, you have what it takes. You are a beast, and don't ever doubt yourself again, because you start doubting yourself. It's you got to be proud of yourself. Don't doubt yourself at all.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because he to me he's improving. He's been improving every year since he's been with us, and he has a motor that just don't stop. So I'm
But I
definitely
mean,
going with Jalen Phillips.
he's just real easy to talk to. He has no problem talking with you about all everything that's going on. I got a cool ass mini helmet, a custom mini helmet signed by him, which I'm going to raffle off later on. But I mean, great guy, and of course I talked with Sean Wooden, Troy Drayton, Nat Moore, OJ McDuffie, some of the other guys.
I
And
don't think Phillips is gonna be coming off that Achilles though. I don't think he's gonna be, at least for this season, even when he returns. I don't think he's gonna be quite right that just yet.
Yeah, he's
I
going to
think
need
it's
it for
gonna.
that explosion.
of course not. He's going to be a little worried about something like that happening again right away or something.
Well, no, I don't even think it's so much in his mind, Papa Paul. I think it's just with that injury. I think a torn ACL is different, and I'm not saying the modern medicine is not going to maybe he can recover faster, but I just think the explosion you need from that position, the get off. I don't think it's going to
Didn't
be
he
there
tear his
this year.
Achilles?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. The Achilles.
Yeah, dude,
I don't think.
I will
gonna
say
take more-
this:
gonna
the
take more
science and how they do the threading now is crazy.
Yeah,
It's
they've
really
gotten
good.
better now with modern
But
medicine.
But like I
again,
said,
I agree with you, Lou. I would rather that guy needs to just however long it takes. To me, he's going to be around a long time doing
Let him
absolutely.
sit.
doing havoc for
yeah,
years,
Think
bro.
about Aaron Rodgers. He
Well,
was almost coming back fully
no,
within the same season.
Right, but
well,
let him
true.
no,
sit.
but I don't think he was
Jaden
coming
Phillips
back.
need to sit. He needs to sit.
And
well,
again,
Don't
I
rush him
think
back.
like I said, he was walking all over the place out there. I mean, all over and
I
handing
will
out.
say this:
So,
Aaron
walking
Rodgers is
walking is
significantly
different.
older than him, and
I know,
would
it's a
But
lot
they
say,
cleared
I
him
would
within
say,
the 21-day window.
again, the kid is a lab made freak of nature. Okay, we're not just talking about just any. It's just like if
Yeah.
back early in Cam Wake's career when he was popping, if he would have tore his Achilles, remember what did he tear? And that summer he was pulling trucks. Remember that?
Mhm.
Oh man, remember he was injured and
Yeah, I
think
remember.
I think it was his
that's right.
pectoral. Maybe
Yes.
it was.
Your
Yeah,
physical makeup has a lot to do
Well,
with your recovery too.
Yeah, like these, like guys like Cam Wake, guys like Jalen Phillips. These are one of one type. Like they're the 1% of the 1% of freak athletes. So yes, I think his
Yeah, but I
timeline will
don't
be as
think that
fast as humanly
exposure.
possible.
Yeah.
But I agree with you too, Lou.
I
Like
don't think
I would
that
rather
exposure.
slow roll homeboy out rather than him getting
That's what I'm
something.
talking. I
Well,
agree
it's
with
not
that.
even about slow rolling him. Even when he comes back, I'm saying when he comes back, or the team deems him to be at least 100% healthy to be on the field, or whenever he comes back, I just don't think with the explosion and what we know of Jalen Phillips, I would just tell people to pump the brakes a little bit. I don't think he's going to come back to that. Now, 2 years down the line, okay, cool, whatever, But as far as next season, no, I think he'll be productive. I think, again,
Well,
to
I
your
don't know.
point,
I don't
Cap.
know about all
well,
that, Lou.
it's just
I
one of
don't
those.
think, bro, he's
I'm-
not going to be off in the
I don't know about
He's
that,
not
bro.
gonna-
I'm saying
he's not
somewhere
gonna have
between
that
8 to
explosion.
10
There's
sacks
no way.
this year.
He actually told me that he was feeling really strong with everything going on and everything. So I mean,
I
it's
don't
a
know,
wait and
man.
see game. It's a wait and see game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'll be
we'll see
honest.
how he
I'm
feels.
looking.
That
I'm looking for somewhere
I
between
ain't
week
gonna lie.
10 to week 12, right in that small, maybe from like week 8 to week 12, where Jalen Phillips is hitting an apex of his athletic career, and he's got the eye and notice of the entire football league. I'm telling you, I feel like he's going to come back. I think the game is going to slow down to him, and I also think when he's healed, he's going to play confident. It's going to take some time. That's why I'm thinking it's going to be closer to like week 10, 11, 12. But once he's feeling confident in his burst again, and the game's kind of slowed down to him, because there's some weird good byproducts from an injury, right? Now you do things a little differently. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll put him to be a little bit more anchored in his feet, to try to use his arm strength more and his length to push guys around, you know, to in his game. And I think it's really going to pay off in the end, and we're going to be seeing this guy, you know, third quarter of the season just absolutely terrorizing people.
Well, can I throw a scenario at you guys, and then we can all talk about it? I'll shut up and I'll listen and stuff. But I brought it up in Twitter. I had a couple of guys that maybe agreed. I had a lot of the majority disagreed. But that's what I like to do. And I think me and Kat were two of the people kind of front running the trade Christian Wilkins either last year or even a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I think for the most
by the way,
part,
Lewis, I thought the question was, do you think Ian was a legend? I'm gonna say yes, but that was another question.
I'll say who. I don't even know who that is, but
I say if you're a legend, dog, he is a legend. Legendary bad takes. Continue.
Right. Well, but to the point, I think
exactly, Cap.
I think me and Cap were kind of, you know, the front runners of trade Christian Wilkins, and it kind of looks like the Dolphins are thinking about bringing him back, which, well, again, I'm not here to debate that. I just want to throw another scenario out here, right? There's a guy next year going into his final year of his deal. That is Javon Holland. I want to be the first one, and hopefully Cap jumps on board with me on this one, right? Just like we were locked in arms again with Christian Wilkins.
I'm already there with you, dog. I already know what you finna said.
I think
put my face on that one.
Cap, I'm right here with you, goddamn.
I'm right here. I don't got my face out, dog.
Hey, so the combine started today, right? That's where conversations are had. Every general manager, every team is in one central location, right? Conversations, liquor's pouring, guys are talking, right? Things are flying out of people's mouth. If I'm Christopher Greer, I'm dropping nuggets, not publicly, right? But in a private setting, in Al Capone, sitting with all the other guys having drinks, I'm dropping the name Javon Holland to see what the trade value is, right? Because the fact of the matter is, we traded Minka Fitzpatrick, and Javon Holland seems like he wants to be the highest paid safety going into the season, right? I think safety is one of the easier positions to, let's say, replace. And hell, let's be honest, right? Jalen Ramsey, what we heard last year, he plays all over the field, right? Well, if you want to kind of extend Jalen Ramsey's career, there's a lot of guys, Champ Bailey, Rod Woodson in years past, they've transitioned from corner to safety. I think
they become that roaming safety, and they have a whole second career with it.
Cat when Jalen Ramsey was with the Rams, he played outside boundary corner. He played slot. He
played nickel. He played he played single high. Played it all.
He played everywhere. I'm just saying, let's get out of our feelings, right? Take feelings aside and the love we have for the player's name in the back of the jersey. I want to be the front runner. Cap said he's on board. Choo choo, goddammit, the train is rolling. Let's push the agenda. Trade Javon.
Well, if we're doing the simple math, Lou, and we're going to be paying a quarterback $50-60 million a year, and now we still got to sign Jalen Waddle, which to me, Jalen Waddle is probably going to get one of the biggest contracts that the Dolphins have given out to a non-quarterback. Like it's gonna set a record. And Jalen Phillips, depending on if he does what I think he's going to do this season, it's going to be the same boat. How are you going to sign all three of them? You're not. You could do the fifth year and this, that, and the third, but I also don't want to be in the situation I'm in right now again. And here's something to illustrate the point. I'm going to answer your question, Lou, to a question around the room very quickly. Who's one of the best safeties we've seen? Most highly touted safety we have seen in the NFL in the last like 8 years, 7 years? Give me the name. Give me a couple names. How about that? Because it's really hard because they're not that. It's not the flashy position.
Antoine Winfield is
Minka
one.
Fitzpatrick. They're going to say Minka.
Antoine Winfield.
Yeah, Antoine Winfield Jr.
Kyle Duggar from the Patriots is another good one.
Yeah, but Gardner Johnson.
Okay.
The Badger. I can't remember his name, but they call him the Badger.
The Honey Badger.
Yeah, but if you think about it, right?
That's Tyrann Mathieu.
I'm just saying. Okay, let me refine the question a little bit.
Brent Grimes.
Give me
what
one.
about
Give me
guy
one.
From the Tonga Islands. He's from Tonga. He's from Tonga. He plays for the 49ers.
I'm just gonna give you the name I'm thinking of because he got paid. Okay. And ever since paying them and something, Jamal Adams, probably one of the biggest, most highly touted safeties in the last couple of years. Everybody was like, man, he's going to on the market, the whole deal. He was traded away and he got paid, and now he just got released today.
2 first-round draft picks, by the way.
I'm just saying. Listen, it didn't pay off. They traded for him. They got all that money, and it wasn't worth it. He ain't seeing the end of his contract. One of the best, probably the biggest, most recognizable name a couple years ago at the safety position. Now, nobody in chat, nobody on this panel even thought of him. And that's my point. Absolutely. When you're thinking about a safety, you're going to pay him the freaking sack like that. Let's go.
Well, and the fact of the matter is, for Javon Holland, let's be honest. If someone came calling with a late first-round pick, or let's say a high second-round pick, hell, that's where even a second-round pick, right? You had 3 years of Javon Holland. You're going to get rid of him before you pay him, and you're not losing any value. You're not losing anything.
Now,
you get a late first, you're gaining value. If you get a second, you're what's it called? And to further the point, right? Look at Cincinnati last year. They let a top 10 safety, right? Arguably top 5 safety in Jesse Bates walk. You know what they did after that? They let his other starting safety for Cincinnati, Von Bell, walk in free agency too. Mm-hmm. They got rid of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm saying, bro, listen, hey, man. Me and Cap were up front, tried to get Christian Wilkins. We tried to tell everybody, look at the situation we're in now.
Yeah, we don't want to be here next year.
I think we should start, again, not publicly yet, but I think if I'm Chris Greer, I'm definitely sitting at dinner tables later on tonight or whenever they're eating in Indianapolis and the drinks are flowing, I'm throwing that name out there.
Okay, real quick, I got it.
At the end of the day, look, I'm not on the train yet, like I say yet, but I want to see what kind of defense
Weaver,
defensive coordinator, runs with. Now, if we have to go get a new defensive coordinator after next year, then yeah, I'll definitely be on that train because at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I'm just trying to see how he meshes with this new guy.
Well, real quick, I got to leave here in a second, make some phone calls. But Cap, I want you to keep an eye out on a kid, which Shake I told him about last week. He's going to be playing with Oklahoma Sooners next year. He's from Tampa Catholic. He's an offensive lineman, 6'3", 335 pounds, and runs a sub-13 100-meter dash.
Wow.
That's quick. That's a quick big boy right there.
There's videos on him and everything all over. The boy is big, and he's on the track team as well. So they got video of him running these 100-meter dashes, beating other kids and stuff.
Cap,
all right, so
that guy's fast. He is.
How's his muscle tone to size?
He was
a young kid. He could rock up,
but his muscle tone's okay. He was the bench press. He was doing 225 pounds, and he did 25 reps of that, which is what they do for the college combine going to the NFL.
El Cap want to know if he's an Adonis.
No, I don't necessarily need to know that. I just know
No,
that offensive linemen in the NFL don't look like how they used to. Those guys used to have guts and stuff. That ain't the case no more. These dudes
Yeah.
are freaking. They're giant monsters.
He's an
They're-
Adonis.
Look at
Yeah,
look at Austin Jackson now. Look at Austin Jackson. That guy.
I'm just saying, Austin Jackson's a perfect example. Buddy is straight yoked.
but you
6'7".
you just look him up and look at some of his video. Eddie Pierre Luis from Tampa Catholic.
I will.
But I got to head out and make some phone calls. I will see y'all later on my show if you're going to join in 8:45.
All right, Paul. I'll be able to
So-
write a little bit.
All right, Pop.
I know you will, Mr. Polk. You have a wonderful night. I'll see y'all soon.
Fins up.
Fins up. Peace, love, and fins up, everyone.
But you know what though? Lou said something on the, I don't know if it's the same platform or another one, but he did say something, and that's what he was saying. Somebody we need to start in the trenches. That sound like exactly that's what you were saying, right, Lou? You need to start in the trenches.
Yeah. You listen. We built this team from the outside in, right? We had Xavier. We traded for Byron Jones. We had Xavier. We traded for Jalen Ramsey and stuff, and that's cool, cute. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I love the players, but to win in this league is offensive line and defensive line trench play, right? You always build your team front to back, not back to front. So.
And you know that's the New England way, though. New England, I don't know about offense, but defense. New England builds theirs from back to front.
Yeah, especially
anyone. Shout out to Villain for the $2 donation. Anyone catch the Greer's video today? I seen half of it, so yeah, it was pretty.
If I'm getting Bill Belichick to come over here and run the defense shake, I like it, but I don't.
Yeah. No, yeah. After we got rid of Flores, then we need a new approach.
Nope, it's Anthony Weaver, and he's going to come in and instill it. I tell you one thing I am hearing so much about, and I also want to touch on what I was talking about earlier because Lou's up here. I want to get his feelings on it because I know he's all over X.
And before you do, El Capitan, I just want to touch, and that's why Javon Holland was so good under Brian Flores because he was the key piece to his zero blitz. The safety was the key. He's the guy who controls.
He was the man that always came unblocked.
Yeah, he was on
the safety was always unblocked.
People up.
Well, that's the thing about other offenses we oppose.
He was kind of like the quarterback. So yeah.
B. McDeed said he would ask for a quality offensive lineman and a 3rd-round pick for Javon Holland. I would do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I could. I mean, the package you could potentially get for Javon Holland can be pretty nice. I mean, look what the Dolphins got for the last guy that they had at safety and traded away.
They got a 1st-round pick.
They got a 1st-rounder, right? That's right. And I don't see any reason why you can't get a 1st-round value from a guy like Javon Holland right now. And a team that's going to trade for him with that kind of value plans on paying him. I'm not saying that it's going to pan out better for us, but I'm also saying that doesn't pan out so well for these teams that pay these guys either. So that's just the facts. Lou, I was going to ask you, now that you're up here, there's this situation where, these people think they got some clout and they go around and they tell people to be positive in this fan base. And it's just super, super irritating, bro. I had called him out earlier, the dude from 3 yards per carry. I'm sick of it, dude. I'm sick of these people telling, you've been miserable your whole life. You should just leave. Huh. It's like, shut the hell up, dude. Like, that's the problem in this fan base right now. We've got all these dweebs that think they're cool, that feel like they are the arbiters of this fan base, and they're not. They're really not. They don't represent what Miami was when it had success, which is why when now we don't have success, and this is what represents us. It's kind of a correlation here.
Absolutely, bro. You're spot on, Cap. The fact, bro, I think we were having this conversation today. Was it on Twitter? Maybe Shake, maybe it was on Stephen D's channel. The fact of the matter is, for the people that always say, well, you got to be positive because positive vibes and this and that. When was the last time positive vibes won a football game?
Then positive vibes don't win nothing.
It's never won anything. So this
Yeah, I
narrative,
can't remember that. I'm trying to put my
Listen,
finger on it,
like
Lewis.
nice
you
guys
gotta be
finish last. We can talk
You
about
know
all
by
this.
now I would have brought that up, right, Lewis? You know me. I
no,
would dig that back in numbers. I can't even go back in my own archives with that one, Lewis. You know me. I would have been brought it up by now. So no, it's no chances that I positively made us win the game.
Again, there's nice guys finish last, and that reason that is still a true statement, and I get it. We got this whole sissy thing going on in the whole country right now. I'm not gonna go into the details, but for the lot of us,
Hmm.
especially the people who subscribe here at the Fins Tailgate, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's infected this fan base. It's infected the NFL, and they're they're just a problem right now, and it's not the way anything gets done. It hasn't ever. You're gonna be okay because there's games at the stadium, and you're gonna root for them and be proud of failure. That's just stupid, bro. Like, I'm not saying don't watch the team or anything like that. That's the thing I hate the most. People say
We
don't watch the
can't.
team, but it's
We're trapped.
typically
We're trapped with our fandom. We
it's
can't.
typically
There's
those
no escape.
people.
We can't just walk away from the Dolphins. That's
So,
insane.
so you're saying it
Not
sucks
as
because
an
I drink
adult.
Bud Light and listen to Taylor Swift? Is
You
that it?
can't do that as an
Well,
adult. It's
well,
impossible.
well. Here's the
So
deal,
all the
right?
people that saying you got to leave the fan base because you're so-called negative, that's nonsense.
It's
It's
nonsense, and
impossible.
it's these positive vibe people that really, to me, they're the least amount of fans. And I'll give you an example. Dolphins Realtor puts it in chat. A guy
Barry
like Barry
Cunningham.
Cunningham can come in here and be a shill and sell you guys snake oil because you're so high off hopium all the time with your positive vibes. You don't realize that this guy is screwing you over. And now he's flipped it to the other side. And now he's going to play the negative edge now because he can. And that's what his modus operandi was, which is why, I don't really care about him saying the negative stuff he does. I didn't care about the positive. I cared about him thinking he could be the speaker for the fan base, which is still the problem
Yeah.
on the other end. These positive vibe people, you leave the door open. Your positive vibes, you don't invite strangers into your house to sleep in your home and eat your food. You don't do it because he might be, kill you and do stuff to your women. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's stupid. This whole I'm going to project all this positivity because that's how it gets in. It's good in theory, and yeah, I appreciate the good Christian thing to do. And listen, I'm a given, empathetic, nice person too, but I'm also a person who lives in actual reality. Okay, we are nasty, mean creatures that do vile, horrible things all over the world, all throughout time. From the Vikings doing what they do to what's going on in wars all around the world today. Okay, so you got to understand the medium of that, and this positive vibe bullshit narrative that they're selling you up and down and every which way ain't doing nothing but making you all a bunch of soft, easy to control pussies, and I'm fucking sick of it. Boom, Mike motherfucking dropped, bitches.
Can I say something?
Did
Can
I
I say
say it
something
best or
behind that?
what, Lou? Did I just fucking
Uh-oh.
kill him or what? God damn it.
hey,
There you
son,
go.
you know what? Cap,
We
you
got
need a goddamn
you got to
apron,
take that
Cap.
mic off your
You need
stand
an
and put and
you
drop
need an apron.
Oh,
it.
I do
can
need to get an apron for that one. That's right. I do need to get an apron for that one.
can I say something behind that?
Please, for the love of
Yeah,
God,
Mr.
Mr.
Pope.
Polk.
I was on the platform, and I'm not gonna name the platform, and I'm not name the person that was on that platform. I was on the platform, and we were discussing the situation with our team, and a person jumped on there. Like I said, I'm not gonna say no name. A person jumped on that platform and was upset and angry because we're discussing the what's the word I should say the negative things that our team was doing, and they were saying, well, why are y'all talking about the negative thing? We should be celebrating because we had a good year, and so and so and so and so. My thing is this, because like I said, I am an OG. I remember the Don Shula days with the Miami
Mm.
Dolphins. There was no such thing as what the team is, how the team is looking today. It wasn't no such thing as that. The softness. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say the word softness because that's what I'm seeing with our team. Softness, and it's not just the team, but it's the front office as well. And you know, I watched the other teams that made it to the playoffs. They didn't go the same route we did because they got aggressive when they started getting towards the playoff. They got more aggressive, and I didn't see that with our team. And I mean, I could be wrong for saying that, but that's why I can't go along with this sugarcoating I'm seeing as far as the season coming up. I'm seeing sugarcoating already, and it looked like
Hey,
we're about to do a
Mi-
repeat of last year and the
Mr.
year before that.
Mr. Park, you're a better man than me because I know exactly who you're talking about, and I would have dropped that goddamn name. I would have dropped his name. Hey, it is what it is, but you're a better man than me, Mr. Park.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
because
What
it's
name we
sugarcoating.
crazy
talking
Yeah,
because
about?
you got a
God
good
damn it!
point.
Now I got to
it's
know,
no, it's crazy because it's
Mr.
crazy
Paul. Put a
because
name on it, please.
no, I just can't. I
Well,
just can't
I
do it.
will respect you for that, Mr.
You
Paul.
you you want me to put a name on it,
You
Cat?
goddamn right, Lou. I'm coming
Go
right for your neck for
go
that name.
go
God
go
damn it.
go. Well, little
Oh,
Nicky,
Nikki.
little Nicky was. We gotta be positive. Again, we're talking about, and I'm not trying to take a shot at that man specifically, but I'm just saying, Cap, to your point and to
Mhm.
the conversation we're having now about the positive vibes. I was on that goddamn panel. Well, I wasn't on there. I was listening. Then when that man came up and said we should all be happy for the things we've gotten from the Dolphins, and it was a very positive
Get the
year. And
fuck out. What have
the
the Dolphins
fuck out
given
of
me?
here. What
Oh,
the
Fuck out
fuck
of
are we
here. You know
talking
what?
about?
I can't think of
mm,
anything I've wasted more money on that brought me more pain in my life other than my old lady. So, you know what I'm saying? And she does shit for me, god damn it. I got kids by her. So I don't know what the
Right.
fuck they done. What have they done for me? Yeah, I got cool shit. Look right here. And I fucking earned this. That's Dan Marino's rookie card. I've had that since I be 12 years old. I worked my ass off for that. And I love the good memories that I have from those things. But here I am as an adult. My son don't want to go watch this team lose in the playoffs. I grew up on watching them win and play in the playoffs. Little Nicky. And you know what's crazy that Little Nicky says that? Or Little Nicky, man, now you got me calling him it. It's Big Nick. Is that that's the Dolphins seem to be the only thing on earth he's like that about. You know what I'm saying? Everything else in his life, he's got the right
He's
friggin'
different,
attitude
right?
about. But the Dolphins,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like he's got the perfect attitude about everything else except this Dolphins. What the fuck?
I know.
No, no, but the thing is, if you go, I mean, to me, and I can say I could be wrong. If you're a true fan of your team, which is my Miami Dolphins, I'm gonna I'm gonna give them credit when they do well. But when they not doing well and they're not getting us to the promised land, it's time to critique them. I'm sorry, you gotta
And Mr.
criticize them.
Park, see, you always
Well,
say it, Mr. Park. You come over here to learn and to get educated. And I'm not saying that I taught you anything, but that sounds just like everything I be saying, Mr. Park. Because you're spot on, and don't ever say you're wrong when you're right. God damn it! Because
That's right.
fact,
Stand tall, Mr. Paul. Stand
because
tall, Mr. Paul.
the
Because we're
fact
gonna have your back
remains.
when you right.
Absolutely, Mr. Park. And
I
you were dead
appreciate
on
that.
spot on. The fact of the matter is, when this team was rolling, right? Again, TFTG is labeled the maybe some bullies of the community and the negative Nancy's or whatever other moniker you want to put on TFTG. But I've been on this great platform when guys like Color Commentary and Cap, our fearless leader El Capitan are calling the games when our team is rolling and they're praising the hell out of this football team.
You damn right.
But then I've also been on this network, right, where there's no sugarcoating, and when Tua Tagovailoa, the offense in general, the team in general, play like dog shit against Tennessee or in Buffalo, those same gentlemen are going to critique and be very critical of this team because that's what fans do.
That's it.
Right? We're not here to tell you, hey, someone just farted next to me, but don't worry about it, fellas, because it smells like roses. If you want that, there's other content creators or Twitter spaces or wherever else you want to go get your goddamn content from that give you that fluff
That's it,
bullshit.
dog. You
But
want to be
over
lied
here,
to? There's tons of this whole world is
absolutely.
willing to lie to you. The Barry
But
Cunninghams are
TFTG,
everywhere,
it ain't
dog.
happening. It
The
ain't
Barry
happening.
the Barry Cunninghams are everywhere. There's plenty of people that will oblige to you and lie to make you happy and tell you the things you want to hear. If you want to hear the things you don't want to talk, like, well, not necessarily don't want to talk about, but if you want to find the right proper pitch pushback, what's up, Finsanity? That's where we're gonna be. We're not gonna go. We ain't hating on this team. I want this team to win more than anything.
All right, let me ask you.
We love this team.
And we love you too, Finsanity.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
love you too, Finsanity. God damn it! I just want real quick sake.
Yes,
I just wanted to say
Finsanity.
I love Finsanity right back. God damn it! She says she
Yeah,
loves
me too.
T.F.T.G,
So do I.
and I love Finsanity right back.
Hell yeah.
All love.
Absolutely, Finsanity. We love you back.
Also, listen, we
That's
talking
real.
about we called the games. I was there right with you, except you couldn't do it on Streamlabs. But when we were able to call the games with you, I was there with you. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that the people that are overly positive and good vibes, those are good too. But let's talk about the other side where when we were winning games, the jackasses that they were the guys that only came on the panel when we lost games to bitch and piss and moan. None of them were there to cheer and celebrate, but as soon as they had a chance to fucking get their little panties in a bunch, they hopped their asses on the panel and talked
Well, there
shit.
is that, Shake, but it's also indicative of this, right? When things are going good, the good people don't come around either, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, when things are going bad, the good people come around to defend against the bad people that come around. And it is what it is. The deal is this, there's far too many people out there that just don't keep the same energy. They be flip-flopping. They be left-hand compliments with their nonsense. And it's not all of them. And then there's people that, and I know this to be true, and I'm going to shout out somebody in particular that I'm thinking of. And you guys know who it is. It's John from Seattle. And we've all had our back and forths with him at time. But I know for a fact that John from Seattle is the type of guy that even though the Dolphins won, he's still reserved because he's afraid that the end of the year it's going to be a collapse. Now, in the long game, he was right. So he's a hurt Dolphins fan. So rather than come here and shit on things when it's going well, he just decides to not get involved, which I can respect, right? So there is that too. If you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I can respect that. Which is why when we won games and there was things, we critiqued the wins and we critiqued the losses and we kept the same energy the entire time. Other than like, yeah, it's going good and we just lost, but I'm not going to be upset because I feel like we can get better. Oh, it's going bad and we just won. Well, I'm not going to get too fucking happy because I know we've been playing bad and we got lucky today. That's how we keep it around here. And anything else other than that, you're not really a fan. You're trying to fucking cuck this fan base.
Well, and I agree. I agree with a lot of that, Cap. The one thing I disagree 100% with, though, and I'll bring up his name because you brought it up, is like the guy John in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
The fact remains, I can respect people no matter what side of the fence you're on. Like, at least be here all the time, though, right? Whether I agree, disagree, whether you agree with me or disagree, the fact remains, I know I'm going to see El Capitan Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to see him on YouTube. I'm going to see him on Twitter. I'm going to see Cat. I'm going to see Color. I'm going to see Shake. I'm going to see Crypto. You're going to see myself. Plenty of others in the community. I cannot respect you if you're on the side of the fence being positive, right? When we're winning, you're all around. And when we lose, you don't show up. I can't respect that. Same thing. If you are a negative Nancy and you're never around when we're winning, but
That's true.
At the drop of a dime when we lose, you're the first one to click the link on the panel. I can't respect that neither.
So
all I want is 10 toes, Cap, and everything.
I hear you. I just
at least let me
when I
see
think
you
of John in particular, I feel like I think I understand a guy like John, and I just feel like he doesn't want to be that guy that he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is the negative guy, and he doesn't want to come here and be the negative guy bringing down the room. But when we're shitting on it and it's negative time, it's all built up and he's ready to let it out.
Yeah.
I would say this to John, that we would like to think that you're comfortable enough around us in what we do over here to be able to tell us how you're really feeling all the time.
Yeah.
That I can get behind. And I think that's what Lou, for the better part of his overall message, is really trying to say. And shout out to Craig Sebring, who is a day one of the program around here. We love you back, buddy.
I love Craig
We
too.
appreciate you. He's
Love-
always
love
in here,
Craig.
Craig.
By the way, that's an awesome
One
vehicle.
love,
I
Craig.
owned
One
one
love.
for over 12 years. So
Hey,
shout
by the
out.
way,
Sebring.
yeah.
Yes. Two
So you got
different brands.
you got guys like Raphael Courtwright, who's here all the time, and even Kevin Lee. Even though Kevin Lee is a Seminole fan, I'm not going to hold that against him. But he's here, win or
Matter of fact,
loss.
I own a Sebring
Yeah,
now.
there's an Andres. There's a
about
bunch of them that are here, ride or dies since day one in this part. So yeah, we appreciate you all. KP making his way up into the
What's up,
fans'
KP?
house. Well,
Yeah.
welcome.
Hey,
What's up, brother?
KP? Haven't seen you in a while.
Hey
my
man, I'll
crippled
tell
brother.
anybody any time of the day, man. TFTG
There you go,
is
KP.
where it's at, man. This is the platform for free expression, free thought when
right.
it comes to your opinion on anything Dolphins, right? And for that, that's what raises it higher above all these other platforms. Because as we all know, man, some of these other platforms, bias runs deep, agendas run deep, preset
KP is
narratives
another
run deep.
example.
It's true.
No, KP, you're another example of a guy that is not a big tour guy, but win or loss, you come up here and express yourself, and you're able to see past that and say, "Hey, Tua play a good game. Congratulations to Tua." You know what I'm saying?
Right. And listen, I'm still on record. The dude improved every year of his career. You will never hear me deny that as a fact. That's a fact. The dude improved, but from the
Yep.
beginning, for me, I'm past the point of waiting on him to develop further. I just don't think he is the guy to take us to the promised land. And hey, that gets you branded a hater around most of these Dolphin streets, and I'm comfortable with that now. So bring it on, pile it on. I pile it on, G's. I will debate
Turn up,
anybody,
KP.
anywhere,
Turn up, KP.
anytime. EM, I don't give a damn who you are. You're not going to
Who
change me
that?
at this
Who's
point.
that?
Oh,
Who's that?
damn,
Yeah.
who's that?
Reason,
Who's that?
calling them all out.
Shit.
Hey, EM, Reason, Doug, Barry Cunningham,
Damn.
switching ass. You
He's
bring
calling
them
out all of
and
them.
I don't give a
Fuck,
damn.
KP coming
Shit.
All
off
the
the top
narratives
rope.
are
God
dead.
damn.
Damn.
TFTG forever.
Walker Crowe,
TFTG forever. Wolfpack and proudly howl. Oh, CB 41 and a
Hell
half.
yeah. Where's Ali at? Color just came in the room. We need Ali.
There you
You
go,
rolling up
CB
on these
41
bitches
and a
now.
half, God
Hey,
damn.
hey, by the way, real quick, happy birthday, Color.
Yes,
Yeah,
happy
man.
birthday to
Happy
Color.
birthday,
Everybody tell
Color.
happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday.
Color.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Hey,
you,
Color,
sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's
you feel
partly
it's
why
my
I
dad's
came up.
birthday today
Otherwise, I'll
too,
be
Color.
typing thank
Happy
you in the
birthday to you,
chat the
man.
rest of the night.
There you go.
There you go.
There goes
I don't
Nancy.
even know who that is, Shake. Nobody knows who
Who is
that
that?
is.
That's
Who?
my dog, CB83.
Who?
Yeah, nobody knows who
41
that
and a
Damn, he
is.
half.
made an appearance.
Hey,
CB
listen,
41 and a
but
half
ain't
has
gonna lie,
made an appearance.
CB83 does host a show, a small panel show with two guys, and the other one of them
Keyword
is
small.
one of them is a Cuban gentleman, and I'll tell you what, he has the best takes of that show.
He
That's
certainly
20.
does.
That's
One of the
CB
best.
20 and 3/4.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
kind of reminds me
exactly.
of Lewis.
He's been further
Hey,
reduced.
Shake money.
Hey,
I've been
dog.
carrying that show for the last 3 months, Shake. I've been carrying that show.
No, but I was just thinking, like, I heard you all talking about, the thing the guy said about go root for another team. It's it's like these people that when you say, "Look, I'm really concerned about the fascist takeover in our college system," and they're like, "Well, just leave the country then." It's like,
Yeah, I
no,
know,
just
right?
fight for the
It's-
country,
Yeah,
damn
just
it.
leave the
yeah,
country.
it's like, okay, why don't you just
Right.
kill
We're like,
yourself?
do we have a choice? Right. Not at the adult stage of our lives. It's not like we got a choice of leaving the Dolphins
Move
at
to
this
Europe.
stage.
Well, I mean, if you want to root for mediocre football, move to Europe.
Yeah, go
Right.
root for the XFL, you dork.
Go to Canada. I don't know what to tell you.
Go to Canada. Right. You
Hey,
want
well-
mediocrity?
hey,
go
well-
to
well,
Canada. Turn it back
that
on
we-
them.
Now that we have Color up here, right? And shout out to Color again, making an appearance on his birthday. Color, I don't know if you heard me, but happy birthday, homie. Right?
Thank you much.
But Capitan as well and KP, I know me and Shake and Crypto were talking about early. Did anyone else see the Spo track kind of confirmation of what they believe Tua's contract is going to look like. Did either one of you three gentlemen see that? I'll take that as a no.
Yeah, no.
That's
Okay.
it.
All
They
right.
say it.
So it was a projected 4-year. Now everybody's going to go crazy for the first number I mentioned. It's a 4-year, $220 million contract. But the fully guaranteed is $165 million. That's lower than what Lamar Jackson got. That is lower than what Jalen Hurts got. I wonder, there is a guy in the community that said that. I don't know who it is, but
There it is.
that was said, right? Now, this is the kicker for me. 105 of that 200 or 105 out of the 165 million that's fully guaranteed is guaranteed at signing. So it's a signing bonus of 105 million. That means the remainder of the guaranteed contract is only 60 million. That gives the Dolphins basically an out in 2025 if they really wanted to. Now the official out is really in 2026. So really it's not
The
even
start
a
of that
4-year
season
deal.
up until the
Right.
midway
It's
point.
So
it's really a
and this
You can
money
get out
three-year
comes
after the
out of
midway point.
Ross's pocket, or does it hit our cap?
No,
Like
so the signing
when we
bonus.
sign the check for 105 million as he signs.
No. It don't go to the salary cap.
Right,
So
that's money that comes out. That's bonus money. That's like, here you
that's
go,
just
cash.
bonus money. That's cash right there up front. So really you're turning Tua's money this year where he's guaranteed what, 23.5, 24 million. I think with this kind of deal right here, you're paying Tua this next upcoming season next year $5 million. You're basically
Right, because
saving.
that leaves 60
Yeah.
million to cover
So
over.
pretty much,
Right.
it's pretty much a 5-year deal because this is going to be attached. This is going to be, that contract's going to be stapled to his 5th-year option.
And if he ends
So
up doing
That's
the
if you add
miraculous
this
and
year,
turning
Shake.
into an actual quarterback, then all we do is restructure at year 2.5 anyway.
absolutely, color. But really, Shake, see, no,
Yeah, you can
it's
get
not a
out at
5-year
the
deal.
trade
What
deadline.
it really turns out to be, Shake, you guarantee. So it's your 5th-year option, which is next year. Basically, it's just 2 years after that because you're out. And if you really wanted to push it with a little dead cap money, right?
Okay, that's fair. But can we recognize that as much as a panel killer as he might be, Sharif was spot on the whole time? Because by my math, that's just about 7 years, dude.
Well,
He
again,
was officially
Sharif was spot
correct on
on.
that one.
He
Yeah,
was
he's officially correct.
he was correct on that. But what I'm saying is,
In Dolphin land, the most persecuted are the most correct.
well, that's fine. But with a deal like that, let's say you have an out in 3 years, does everybody feel more? Does Tua sound more appealing for 3 years, or does he appeal
I
more
prefer the
appealing for
0
5
more
years?
years.
It don't change
At
how
2.5.
much how much he appeals to me, but the deal is a lot more easier to. The pill is a lot easier to swallow.
If you do the math, really, if you're talking about just the guaranteed money, and let's say it was over the 4 years, it comes out to $37.5 million a year.
Yeah, it's a Tua sexual friendly contract. Tua gets his bag, wastes our time. Dolphins go on suffering for decades. Hip hip hooray!
And that is fine, right? That is perfectly fine. All I know though,
I got to the
right?
year 2080, KP. Don't worry, I'm good.
Again, well, 28. I'm talking about
Cheers to that.
2026. I'm talking about 2026 having an out. What I'm saying is, we can get whatever our feelings are, right? That's fine. Daniel Jones got 40 million. If you mean to tell me I'm getting Tua, whether we like it or not, for 37.5, I think it's a win-win for all parties. Right? Tua's still getting his money, but the Dolphins get an out, right? And
After 2026.
for 37.5 million, when you telling me Daniel Jones and guys like that are getting 40, nah, bro. I'm sorry. For at least for me, that's a win-win.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, Lewis, is that even with the 165, that's less than what Lamar got guaranteed.
Shake.
which is
Right.
fair.
I'm calling
And
him.
That's why I
Answer the
came
phone.
from color.
It's also much less than Lamar got because, even though it only adds up mathematically to 10 or 15 million bucks, remember that the salary cap just increased, 28 million.
1,000%.
And it's been doing that every year for the last 5 years. That's why Goodell keeps getting his contract re-upped. The owners love him. He's making the money hand over
1,000%.
fist.
Goodell gets
1,000%.
another 50 million this year. That's his salary now.
So that 165, as much as people don't want to believe it, or and I'm with Kahari. It doesn't really matter. It's like paying $5 for dirt weed. You still got something that ain't gonna do nothing for you, and you're out $5. You know what I mean? But putting that aside, it's actually a pretty low ball deal considering the inflation rate.
1,000%.
It's less of a proportion of the total salary cap.
They made it palatable to the franchise.
Yeah, that's something the franchise
The
can
number
deal with.
they made it look, and that's what I suspected they might do, is make it look flashy, to the public. But in reality, it's kind of a low ball deal.
It's not right, because they built in all the guarantees up front. They paying it all up front.
Everybody's happy. He gets his
inflation that everybody. I mean, there's a reason.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation financially because they getting it off the books
Saints
early.
just ignore their salary cap because they're playing that inflation game like up front.
Yeah, everybody wins
105
except for the
million.
long-suffering Dolphins.
You got
That's all.
60 left, and then you're 2026 by the trade deadline. If things don't pan out, you can easily move off of them.
I think it's a win-win. I'm sorry. I think
You
it's
got
a
it
win.
because you have to win something within that year structure, within the salary structure, the way you do it. So I think Greer's trying to give himself an out without getting fired outright. They also got to think about Greer's kind of saving his own ass on this one too.
It's a win-win for everybody, Crypto.
Greer. Greer was smart. He saved himself on this one.
It is a win-win though, KP.
No, I acknowledge that. That's a fact.
So, listen, real quick here,
Greer,
guys.
y'all don't realize Greer sneakily protect himself with a deal like that. Y'all
It's
do know that,
insulation.
right?
He insulated himself. He got the deal done. Bought himself that time just as much as Tua has one time.
I ain't burned my T-shirt yet.
Greer is something else, boy. I tell you. Because he could say if Tua don't work out, he said, "Well, at least I got myself an out. We can draft another quarterback and we can groom him." That's what Greer's gonna do.
So, real quick,
this porcupine fucking excuse my language. This porcupine like almost took out an iguana at the zoo today.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so they fed the pork. They have like 6 porcupines there, dude, all in the same pen. They're huge.
Dude,
they look like they're like really huge. They almost look like turkeys, but they're
supposed to separate them.
But they're splines instead of feathers. But anyway, so they throw them a bunch of veggies to start eating, right? And they're all mowing down. And this iguana gets, sneaks into the cage, runs up to the first freaking porcupine. And that dude, man, he turned his freaking splines at him and freaking chased after him. I'm like, damn, I didn't realize they could direct those things like that, man.
It's like the honey badger. Those things are tougher than they look.
Yeah, it was like gun turrets all turned around at the freaking iguana and started running towards him.
Yeah, that iguana didn't want no smoke. Just like Chris Kaufman from 3 Yards Per Carry isn't going to want the smoke, because I was just messaged on Twitter that I guess, they're like, Cap, fight back. And I can't see what he's saying because he blocked me, because that's what hoes do, right? And I wasn't going to, do this whole Twitter thing, but,
They're like, get out of there, Cap. Get out of there, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I know. So here's his Twitter handle, and here's what he had to say. I guess this is a separate tweet. Shake, go ahead and go at the top, please. He says,
I gotta get out of here,
Twitter
guys.
beef at you?
Hey, I just want to say, hey, happy birthday, Color Man. You share that birthday with my dad. So 2 cool dudes born on the same birthday. How about that?
Dude, what? Wait, what?
My dad's birthday is today as well.
You're kidding me.
What?
No? Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Dad.
Okay, happy birthday.
That's 2. That's 2 now. Because Michael K, I hope I'm not putting personal info out there, but his late father was also born on February 28th.
Look at this.
Yeah, my dad's 73 today.
That's crazy.
God bless him.
My late father was
usually
born
when I
on-
tell people
was born
my
yesterday.
birthday, they're like, "Oh yeah, I got a sister that's in
27.
February or whatever." Every other time it's somebody on the same day, but never have I had 2 on the same day like that. Finding out that's pretty cool.
Nuts.
Yeah. Anyway, happy birthday, guys.
Yeah.
Peace.
You too, man.
Long live
Later,
T.F.T.G.
KP.
Long
Dad,
live
I said, happy
T.F.T.G.
birthday. I'm catching up to him.
Salute,
Cougars,
KP.
Killing Cougars.
Yep.
So I guess this is a separate post that he put. He says some people need to be fans of another team, period. They live miserable existence. God, just the way this guy talks, it sounds just like this, doesn't it? If you can't hear a single positive thing about your team without bringing it back, getting all in your feels playoff, blah, 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 there's nothing in this for you. So go ahead, Shake. Some people were saying you can also let them be just fans. You know what I'm saying? This guy here, the commonest man in Festo.
Where?
In Festo.
Festo.
Yeah.
Wherever that is.
Yeah,
Sounds like an Italian place.
He's saying let them just be fans, dude. Dolphins have
Thank
great
you, G.
facilities. Doesn't really affect them. Cool for the players and staff, but it's okay for us fans to just want to win playoff games now and again. Now he goes, straw man argument, which he probably just heard that. He probably heard you say that, Color. I don't think he's using it. I don't think he's really using that properly right there, because I don't think the guy is straw manning in any way, shape, and form. He's giving the...
Oh, what he's trying to say is that the guy is setting up an incorrect argument to knock it down. That's an easier argument to knock down. That's not what he was trying to say. It's like, but that is what you said, dude.
That's exactly
people
what he
should
said.
go be fans of other teams.
Yeah, if anyone's straw manning anybody, it's the other guy.
Exactly.
Again,
Reverse
a classic
straw manning.
projection
Well,
week.
What he's doing is with Mott and Bailey, he's setting up a different thing to attack. While you should just be continuing to attack his Mott instead of going after the Bailey. That's what he's doing right now. By
here's the
claiming
deal,
straw
right?
man, he's setting up a Mott and Bailey.
Here's the deal, right? Again,
about
I'm
this
talking
shit,
about
man.
people who want. Don't scroll that. Don't Shake. You're going too fast. Go back down.
Damn, who was that? Michael Jackson?
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble for MJ.
He says. He says
for a myriad of different reasons.
I'm talking about people who see something positive about the team and literally can't read it without replying some BS, or just get the F out of my mentions. Oh, so that is directly at me because I mentioned him in it. That's right. So okay, this is directed directly at me. All right, scroll
So
down
he's
just a little bit, and I love how he talks tough now that he has me blocked. Oh, look, ignore it if it bothers you that much. It doesn't really affect them. I'll just start blocking them for trolling because that's what it is. It's just trolling. No.
He's the one trolling. He's trolling.
He's the troll. He's the one out here trying to cast people out into the abyss, kicking people out of the fan base. If anything, he's the
wait
troll.
a minute. And by the way, this is why I came up. What the hell is 3 yards per carry? What a defeatist ass name to begin with. You know what that
shit,
is?
Cook Color.
That's 4th and 1. That's 4th and 1 and a punt. That's what that is. 3 yards per carry.
God damn, Color's cooking now.
Exactly.
Color's cooking now,
That's
Lou.
a fact. That sounds like you ready for what Sperano
Yeah, what
days
the hell?
again.
How about I
Cheering
want
on
5
field
yards
goals.
per carry?
That's what that means.
You know, y'all carry yourselves like you're some kind of news network.
He must be a Sperano fan. That's what he is.
3 yards per carry. That's 4th and 1.
Yeah,
3 yards per
setting
carry
up the
is an
field goal. That's what
absolute
he's doing.
defeatist color. It never even registered to me. It is an absolute defeatist mentality
Right.
because you're not
3
winning
yards
any
per carry.
games having a 3 yards per carry type of fucking attitude.
I'm almost starting to think the guy's a bot.
It sounds like he's a Tony Sperano fan.
So, scroll up a little bit more, Shake, or down, I should say, because I can't look at this myself. I had to have somebody else look at it.
Rhetoric around here, man. You get top notch rhetoric around here.
Yeah, at least our rhetoric is fun. Fucking Color. It's
I
4th
could
and 1
live with
now.
it. It's
What
4th
good
and
did
1.
that do? What good did 3 yards per carry do, Lou? It's 4th and 1 now.
It's 4th and 1 now.
I'd have survived back in Athens, man. Rome, I'd have been done just fine in Rome. I'd have been a dictator in Rome.
On the opening one, though, I guess early in the tweet, I seen, was that one of them inside leverage clowns that?
It's coming up, Lou. It's coming up. No, keep going. You're on this thread, Shake. Keep going. Slow down, Shake. Slow down. I want to read what this. We're going through it now, guys. We're in the minutia of it. Let's go ahead and do this right. We're going to take this one little bit of a time. We're going to follow this thread and see where it goes.
Sam Elliott. I must be sounding kind of southern tonight.
All right, so
I'm a little tired, you know.
good as you can of rating. Find out that cockroaches get rid of. The fan base needs an exorcism. He responds, "Yeah, it's hilarious to see people try and insist that reacting and replying with negative non-sequitur." God, dude, what a fucking dork. As a guy who has a broad vocabulary like myself, he's doing it because he thinks it makes him sound tough. Anyhow, they start doing screen clapping and subtweet game. Oh no, it's trolling, huh? LMAFO. So now, yeah, that's definitely me because that's exactly what I did. I screenshot it and retweeted it because it needed to be done because I knew that this guy was a beta and wasn't going to involve in a conversation, that he was going to block me and then shit talk around because he thinks he's somebody with his fucking dumbass picture. All right, let's slide down again. Jake. Little
Man,
bit
no
further.
wonder they call for a better punter.
Okay, stop right there. And they always bitch like they're being persecuted for being negative. Yet, well, again, there's been no real persecution.
He literally came out and started persecuting people for being negative.
That's exactly what he did, Color. And not only that, it's always by these over positive people. Well, I can't remember a super negative person saying "get out of the fan base with your positivity."
Hey,
that's
Crypto,
not something anyone
that's
ever
some
says.
Saul Alinsky shit right there, man. That's like blaming.
That's
the
a
other
great
side for
point.
doing
Get out of the
exactly
fan
what they're
base for your
doing, man.
positivity.
Yeah, get your fake positivity out of this fan base. Yet that is not at all the issue. The issue of being an asshole. The issue of bringing it to a certain thing over and over because you can't stand anything else. It says show more. Shake, hit that show more button. Right there. Yeah, there we go. Talked about
this guy's got his little hard copy of Rules for Radicals right at his desktop.
Yeah, we get it, but
I'm going to start accusing them for toxic positivity.
Toxic
positivity.
Right. This toxic positivity's gotta stop.
That's what I'm going to accuse you of. It's got to stop.
Let's go ahead and go back because, yes, Lou, this is the crew. Press the back button there, Shake. There you go.
All this toxic femininity.
Now, and yes, as you can see there, Lou, it is.
That's that bitch Chad.
It's that bitch Chad. It is their type of deal over there. The 3 yards per carry has their own trolls on payroll over there, known as the inside leverage guys. They think themselves to be a force of trolling and movement in the fan base. But it's just not true. We all know that to be the fact.
I write news articles.
All right. And yeah, I would agree with him on this. It is childish behavior, but not childish attention-seeking behavior. I mean, this is a guy who takes other people's tweets and rewords it to his own words and tweets it out as if he's some kind of somebody. So it's pretty sad, bro.
He could have told me the Tombstone Sam Elliott, but I do like Roadhouse. I got a question for y'all real quick. Sidebar. Do you all agree that Roadhouse is a Western?
I mean, yeah, everybody in the whole fucking movie has cowboy boots on.
Like it's a modern Western. Like it's the same story that you see from the old spaghetti Western. New guy rolls into town.
Yes.
Starts banging the chick of the guy that owns all the fucking law. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Law. The guy wants to take him out. You know,
Color,
like,
who's arguing with you that it's not a Western?
Calls in the buddy to help out. The buddy gets killed. I mean, it's a total Western.
Who's
what
arguing?
about Dirty Dancing? Was Dirty Dancing a Western?
No. Who's arguing with you that it isn't a Western?
I don't know. I just thought of that. I'm asking the question.
Oh, okay,
if y'all
okay,
thought
okay,
it was
right.
like a Western. Like it's a Western.
Yeah,
Not a modern,
accurate.
not a modern Western, like modern cinematography Western, like Tombstone or Unforgiven. It's a modern Western, like it's actually a Western, just set in modern times.
What movie is this?
Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze.
Well, just go drive Route 66 and you would be the driving modern Western.
Ain't Sam Elliott in that one too?
Yeah, that's what Cozy Nostra was saying. I sounded like, or G-Man was saying, I sounded like the Sam Elliott from Roadhouse.
I'm just scanning through what this Chris Kaufman Is it Kaufman? Is it Koofman? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's Kaufman.
I think it's Kaufman, right? It's just
Well,
spelled.
considering the imaginary setting was somewhere in Kansas or Missouri, then you could call it a Midwestern.
All right. I would say this. I'm reading what he's saying and all this stuff, but the only one playing childish internet games is him. He's the guy. All I did was just see his interaction with another Dolphins fan, someone I'm not even like friends. The guy Dre and I don't even follow each other. I've seen him in spaces. We haven't really talked or anything like that. I just seen him telling him to get out of the fan base. And I've seen Dre all up and down in Twitter spaces and doing shit for a long time. And whether or not I agree or disagree with Dre, I didn't give a shit. I cared that this guy's telling him to get out because he's not going to take this positivity dildo and shove it up his ass like fucking Chris Kaufman is and say, oh, we're the best and number one at some shit that don't fucking matter. And now everybody's a negative thing and it's a weird vibe and all this shit. No, the fucking weirdness and the weird vibe part is you're literally standing. These are the type of people that when it's burning to the ground, they're like, nothing really bad is happening. No, they're the denial people, and they're the delusional ones, and they're the ones that want to live in the delusion, and when you break their delusion with reality, they want to then ostracize you for bringing up real world deals, and it's just stupid. Being number one with the facilities doesn't amount for jack shit, because if it did, it would amount to playoff victories and wins. Meanwhile, the least favorable facility in all of the NFL won the fucking Super Bowl. The Chiefs had the rated -F. They had the worst rating by a margin, and they won the Super Bowl. So I don't want to hear how facilities is making things better. It does nothing to serve me. And if you're so childish as to insert yourself into your imaginary friends that you watch on TV and think that because they're having a better day, that means you're having a better day, then you're the fucking one living in a delusion, and I refuse to be there with you.
Cap, does Kansas City's facilities have a slide in it?
You know what Kansas City facilities
They got
have?
a beanbag.
Listen, Kansas City facilities, their owner in their owner's box, it's a 2-story. It's got a living room and a fireplace in it and a kitchen. It looks like a fucking condo for the owner. And meanwhile, everybody's sitting on fucking concrete, freezing their freaking nuts off out there, and the players are getting water from an old aluminum fucking water cooler, and it's still working out for them. They don't give a shit. Everybody's getting aluminum poisoning.
Hey, Cap, you know that scene in the Titanic when the musicians was playing the tubas and they playing that song as the ship was going down?
That's right. There you go.
That's what the ultra positive people were saying.
There you go, Crypto. That's
everything's
exactly
burning down, and they're saying nothing's wrong here, and they just playing their song as the ship going down and taking on water.
I'm just gonna finish this bar real quick. I know that we're all gonna die and stuff. It's not face reality.
They're just playing along. You know, they made it sound good on the way down to the bottom. Yeah. I want to hear the orchestra when I go out.
I'm over it.
Bread and circuses, man. That's all it is. Give them bread and circuses.
Simply put, that's enough.
As long as the orchestra sounds good, I'm all right.
Again, it's exactly what I thought. There's nothing to fight back against in that conversation because I'd have to enter into this guy's delusion to fight back against him, which I would gladly do. But, you know, again, the internet has made tough guys all over the world. People watching.
And by the way, Kaufman lives in Lewis's neck of the woods.
Tua's got bots now.
Damn.
Oh, word? Well,
Yeah.
guess what? That's my
Damn,
home neck of the woods
that's
over
his
there.
neighbor?
That's
Oh,
I got family and friends from
That
my
guy-
entire.
That guy totally uses AI to write for him. He pulled
no
up
doubt.
ChatGPT and he was like, write a tweet where I'm telling everybody they're freaking dirtbags, you know, and it spits out, well, y'all should be more positive or go root for other fans. Oh, perfect. And he copies and pastes it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They got
I'm
the
just-
new updated version.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
the
tell
Gronk.
everybody on
4.0.
Twitter that-
4.0.
we tell everybody on Twitter that they're negative Nellies for not believing in Tua.
Yeah, it's just stupid,
The
bro.
AI spits out an answer. You know, he copies it and
It's
pastes it
just
on.
dumb. And the guy
AI,
wasn't
boy, I tell you.
the guy wasn't necessarily shitting on the fact that we had the facilities. He was making the point like, okay, this is fine, but what has it done for us
I
as a
bet
team?
you
in
if we
winning?
ran it through the algorithm checker, it would identify it as written by AI.
Probably. But here's the deal,
Yeah.
right? It's people like this guy, the Barry Cunninghams of the world. Now, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think Chris Kaufman is a shill like Barry Cunningham is, an absolute snake oil salesman. But I will say it is what. Here's the thing that I think kind of happened, right? When the Dolphins were just a franchise that was destitute, right? It just had no hope before Stephen Ross got here, and kind of those first years and stuff, and the Tannehill years kind of blend away. A lot of people did turn off the TV that were the diehard Dolphin fans, right? They just couldn't take it no more. I wasn't going to waste my money. I wasn't going to waste my time or my energy. And the absolute weirdo that don't have nothing at all going on, even bad stuff, like they've got nothing going on. They're the ones that kind of hung back and hung on throughout that entire period, which that can be praised, but it gave them this self-confidence that they know what they're talking about. They know what this fan base is. And as people came back to this fan base when it gained notoriety again, it started getting populated as such. And then when we got the Tua Tagovailoa, Tua near, Tua sexual, Tua on movement, they kind of merged forces into this over positivity that is delusional at times. And it doesn't equate to winning football games. And it's becoming a real problem, not just with this team, not just with the NFL, but with this country, and how people are, not looking at things for what they really are and saying that things are all right. And we all know that they're not. And when the chickens come home to roost, eventually you're going to hit the brick wall and you're going to have to pay the piper with this nonsense. And you guys are
Yeah,
stupid.
I don't understand what they have to gain from it. Like,
Well,
what are they gaining from it?
That's the weird thing to me, Color. Like, I get the trolls that do it. You know what I'm saying? They gain that they're draining you. But these people, that's not what they're doing. They're not trolling. They really are bought in. I just think that they're completely
throwing a bunch of stats out there the way they do is like, it's
I
not
know,
the
but
way I do it, where I'm like, look, people, here's what my eye test sees. Here's some stats that back up my eye test, and here's like a multitude of comprehensive stats that all say the same thing, where they're like, oh, he threw for 4,600 yards, number one in the NFL. Bro, you're telling me in a down year, okay, yeah, he was number one in the NFL with 4,600 and something yards? Seriously?
Well, here's the thing, Color.
There's other players that have been number two
If
in
you
given
if you
years
made
and
it
thrown over
into
5,000.
Color, if you made your stats conclusions into simple
I think
graphics,
Brady in 1 year, right?
it would really help. But
Right,
here's
but
the thing: it's a sign.
I'm saying, though, but here what I'm the nuance of what I'm saying. There have been quarterbacks that were number 3 in passing in a given year that threw over 5,000 yards.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit if he was number 1, number negative 500. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about 4,600 yards. I give a damn about dubs.
That's it.
When they matter.
Well, Matthew Stafford had 5,000 yards and didn't have a playoff win until he got to the Rams.
Oh yeah, he had a couple of 5,000 with Detroit. Didn't he,
Matthew Stafford was a lock for fantasy quarterbacks drafts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You knew he was going to rack up the
great
points.
fantasy guy. Yeah, he gives you a lot of fantasy.
You know what else?
More in Detroit
I
than he
got
did with the Rams.
Why is it that? I mean, I guess there are. I don't really see them. They answer, or they get on. They might get on Twitter or get on YouTube throughout the course of their day and say how they feel and be negative. But there is an army of people that actually wake up in the morning,
shut up,
just for the sole purpose of insulting people that don't believe in the quarterback and or the team. These people wake up waiting with the intention. I'm getting on Twitter to insult somebody because I disagree with them and don't believe they should feel negative.
And when you pointed out, Color,
I don't know anybody that doesn't like Tua or that's negative on the team or the outlook or whatever, or criticizes the team, whether they're positive or negative. Okay. I don't know any of those people that wake up with the sole intention of going to Twitter and insulting Tua ears. You all might see it. I don't know. Maybe that's the algorithm that doesn't put it in front of my timeline. But the moment I can't even open Twitter anymore. The moment I do, it's somebody either slobbing onto his knob or it's somebody insulting somebody else at a deeply personal level
because they're not slobbing on his knob.
Negativity toward the team. It's amazing to me.
Perceived negativity, yeah, that's the one that really gets
I
everybody.
don't give a damn how positive you want to be. I don't give a damn if you hate the fact that I'm negative. But you have to be some kind of delusional person to have the intent of going on Twitter and using it that way.
Yeah, listen.
You are the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
You are the reason the internet sucks.
That internet algorithm, boy, I tell you.
Color.
They'll feature.
I like this. I like Color like this. Color's calling out the truth right now, and everybody, you should listen up in the back. Color's calling them out, and you should, Color, because it's sickening. While we're over here inviting people to come up and have any debate you want, and we don't ban no one around these parts.
My speaking privilege is taken away in a Twitter space. I'm the only one that does. From somebody that everybody, we all respect this guy. Well, fuck you all. Take my speaking privileges away. You'll lose this privilege of hearing my voice. How about fucking that?
Damn, Color. Drop an elbow
never
on
come
him.
in your space as long as this person is there. And I don't need to say names.
Turn it up, Color.
Put a name on it, Color. Put a name on it. Fuck it. We're out here. It's your birthday.
I just need to stay away from spaces that fucking compromise my mental health. That's what I need to do. I don't need to name no fucking names. The person knows who he is. And obviously he don't have enough respect, okay, that he's got to single me out over people to take his fucking privileges away, okay, like I'm some kind of fucking, like I'm below Pete or something.
I just want to say something to Costa Nostra real quick.
You talking about co-hosting
Twitter
privileges?
space can go suck itself. And I hope everybody slobs on your knob that goes into your space. And you know who you are.
Real quick, Color, because I don't want to. I just want to address this, and I want you to go back to cooking Batman. I mean, whoever you were talking about. I just want to say,
no, it ain't Batman.
I know it's Batman. Not. I just wanted to throw Batman in there because Batman irritates me sometimes, and I like cooking his stupid ass all over the place too. So
Batman's
I might just cook.
Only ever bounced me when it got personal between me and him, which I can understand. Whether even if I know,
but I kind of want to insert myself in that a little bit, body Batman a little bit.
I can understand.
Anyhow,
okay. But I don't need no co-host singling me out over everybody in the whole fucking group. Okay. To be taking my speaking privileges away because they didn't like what I the fuck had to say about who needed to be traded.
Anyhow, I don't dislike Tua.
Yeah, nobody.
And I don't think the Dolphins shouldn't pay him. I just don't want to jump the gun.
Now I'm gonna go light my joint if you know what I mean.
It's the off season.
Yeah, Costa Nostra. It's not a dislike to Tua or anything like that. It's more along the lines that we got to remain objective to the options. We do have the 5th year. It's not something I want to lose talent over.
Who's arguing whether somebody played well for us?
If the Dolphins
at times played well for us.
If the Dolphins do sign him to a multi-year deal and it is favorable for us when cap and stuff, I'm not going to be mad at it. But I will be just as critical, if not now more critical, because he's going to be making the money. And if it doesn't equate into playoff victories and meaningful games and a potential championship run and Super Bowl appearance and maybe a victory, all that stuff, then we'll look back at all this and
no one's above reproach.
No, not around these parts. Okay, The only person I won't stand for taking criticism in these parts is Dan Marino and fucking Don Shula. That's it. Everyone else's name is on the fucking docket, damn it.
It is.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Villain.
Shout out to Villain, becoming the villain of the streets.
And then on top of all that, to have 3 hours later, what I got my speaking privileges removed for was the normal conversation. Somebody stole the fucking take and they started talking about it 3 hours later. Like it was no big fucking deal. Amazing this shit. I don't need to
somebody
I
else
don't need to
relaying what you was
associate
trying
with
to say.
children on Twitter, man. I just don't. So you won't find me in those spaces anymore.
Yeah.
Well, somebody tried to relay what you said, Color.
If you haven't noticed, you haven't found me in those spaces in many, many days. Because I don't talk about not going to places and then keep going to them. I'm done with that shit.
Yeah,
All I
it's a
know is,
cesspool.
yeah.
Twitter is a cesspool. It's
Listen,
a cesspool.
I used to go on Twitter a lot for dolphin content, but now I just go for the free titty pictures.
Hell yeah.
Well, you can do that on Twitter X or OnlyFans, Shake.
No,
Yeah, but
OnlyFans.
they're free on Twitter.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's free. You don't have to subscribe. You can get the free version of OnlyFans.
People like to passively aggressively play out their
Yeah, but they
personal
constantly wanna
issues
charge
they
you.
had with
Go
people
ahead,
without-
Color. I want Color
without
to
admitting
continue to
there's-
cook because
without
Color was
admitting
cooking.
without admitting there's a personal issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
Make sure you
Dave's asking
subscribe,
for
Shake Money.
names,
correct himself or
and
do whatever
and
to
Lou,
rectify the
Yeah,
Lou.
who the hell did that, Color?
I don't know. I don't know who he's talking about, but somebody out here capping on these Twitter streets with my man
Yeah,
Color,
they is.
and they gonna
They've been
find
a
out how this
little
TFTG thing really worked. God damn it!
The reason I don't need to say the name is because somebody else is going to do it in the future, and if you're that person, I'm talking to you.
Damn, Lou.
Again,
Not you, Lou. I'm just saying, if a person is out there going, who am I? I'm just saying, somebody else is going to do it. That's why I don't need to single out a person, because it's going to happen again. And I'm telling whoever might be that person, you have no ability to take away my speaking privileges. Period.
Was it in a space I was hosting, Color?
Yes, it was.
Oh shit!
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know if you were host that day. You were. I don't think it was your space, and I don't know if you had popped in and out of being co-host that day. Like it's a space that everybody's in, bro. It ain't no inside space. It was an outside space.
Oh shit!
It's either Mountie or
No,
Andrevia.
fuck your outside bullshit. I'll stay right where the fuck I want to be.
It's either Andrevius or Mountie. Those are the two guys that host.
I like being outside, but there's something I like to put inside. Hello.
Hosted a space.
I don't know who Color's talking about, but
I
if
have no
Mountie
idea
is-
neither.
It
That's
don't
crazy.
fucking
Well, no,
matter.
Mountie hasn't.
I will say
Dre
this.
and Batman has
Do it in
hosted
the
spaces.
future.
Hey,
And
Lou, all I know is that
whoever
when
that
Color
person
comes
is gonna
rolling
be-
through those Twitter streets, them X streets, watch out.
Yeah.
Boogeyman coming with a stick, goddammit.
Yeah, we got
damn.
some new
Nothing
Boogeyman.
new on the
We
internet.
got Boogeyman
There's
University
no
starting up
reason-
on
hold
Tuesdays at
Hold
4
on.
o'clock.
There is no reason for me to single anybody out because this is nothing new on the internet. Okay? But it don't work on me, so I'm speaking to whoever is going to do it to somebody in the future.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so keep your head on a
I don't
swivel.
need to put a name on it.
Dade County, you're a hoe for that, Dade County, by the way. I just want you to know that. Dade
Tw-
talking about gatekeep. Listen, I'm in
We
and
got
out of my truck
Boogeyman
all
University
goddamn day.
starting up.
Actually, to be
I'm
honest,
about
I have-
changing the space. I'm not about trying to fix everybody else's bullshit.
Hey, the first Twitter space I hosted in like 2 weeks was today that I did like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
I popped through.
Like a week and a
Yeah.
half ago, bro. I
Yeah,
ain't been
Batman
around
and,
the spaces in about a
what's
week
his
and a
name?
half.
yeah, see, so I know I wasn't the host of that space. I know damn well because today was the first one I did.
No, you weren't the host. You weren't the host.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to clear my name. God damn, I really want to know who the fuck did it.
Well, they said Lewis was the host.
Another thing, not one person said nothing about it. So it ain't like I gotta name a name.
Damn.
Oh,
All I
that
know is
person-
that I see
no,
Dade
possibly.
and Tony
That person-
in
that-
chat,
that
and they're
person
ready to
possibly-
dogpile for you, Color.
It's funny how I don't need nobody to say nothing about it, but everybody that gets wronged in this community has an army of people that stand up and say something the fuck about it, except for fucking me. The shit that happens to me,
fostered
it's
it.
like no fucking big deal. I sat here for the last week and a half keeping my mouth shut listening to everybody. Not everybody, listening to everybody, but hearing certain people just totally rip my takes for the last year and a half.
Well, was the listen? I'm
Like
trying to
5
figure
or
this
6
shit out.
different people.
I'm trying to figure this
And
shit
it's just
out.
amazing to me
the
how much
last
energy
time,
I put into all this, right? And somebody in a group that tells me that they consider me part of that group wants to remove my speaking privileges
Oh fuck.
and single me the fuck out.
Damn, so this guy says they're outside and being outside and we outside together, but you're going to make sure you're outside on the outside.
I'm trying to piece this shit together. And again, listen, I do remember, I think the last time Color was in a space, he got into it. And again, I'm not,
I mean,
I
and it was
got there, I
something
gotta
that
drop.
whatever I said was so nonsensical that it had been said
Yeah.
1,000 fucking times.
Well, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Color. You ain't saying the name. I'm just gonna throw out a name. You don't have to respond to it or what. But I do remember you getting into a heated debate with Rashad. Could Rashad be that guy you're talking about?
No. To Rashad's credit, he's never disrespected me that way.
Well, then I have no fucking idea. Then I really don't.
Other than the fact that I'd imagine he probably laughed about it.
Well, there is somebody disrespected on these streets, and they got real Chris Kaufman 3 yards per carry energy, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, it's no big deal, bro. I'm a man. I can stay away from places where people don't actually respect me and just act like they do. You know what I mean? I don't need that.
Don't worry, Dade. I'm gonna be on your ass, Dade. Don't worry.
Hey,
now,
listen,
one
y'all,
person
I
said
got
something
here,
for you,
so
Dade. 2024 change is coming, Dade.
I'm gonna jump off, but I appreciate you fellas. One love to you.
Yeah,
y'all
Mr. Polk.
Color.
Shout out, Mr. Polk.
Enjoy the rest of your birthday. My late father's birthday was yesterday, so listen. Enjoy your birthday.
Wow, Color.
Oh, yesterday. Yeah, right around the same proximity. Man.
So, one love to y'all, man. I appreciate you guys, man.
Later, Mr. Polk. Salute.
Later, Mr.
You know,
Polk.
I wonder, is KP's dad and Michael K's dad and Mr. Polk's, it was his father yesterday, he said?
Yesterday,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. Are they all just like, Color? Are they just like Color? They're ready to get turned. Look at who is coming up. I dropped the link. I was really hoping Dade was going to come up here.
And ironically, around this time last year, my father passed away.
With that bullshit today. Don't listen to him.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I'm over here.
It's crazy. It's eerie.
Get him, Dade.
Hey, what's up with y'all, bro?
Nothing, bro. We're out here cleaning these Twitter streets up from YouTube, dog.
Bro, it's the internet. You ain't gonna never be able to clean this shit up.
We're gonna try though, Dade. If we're only part of the problem if we don't try to fix it, dog.
Well, I ain't
You're not the solution. You're part of the problem.
Dade made his itch in the community, right? Coming in here.
Something else.
Hey, why are we always fighting? Why can't we just argue? And now the first sign of trouble that is click the link quick. The first
hey,
sign
this
of trouble.
nigga is full of cap.
Hey, listen,
man.
I ain't playing.
Look,
Shots fired.
Look, Shake and I have talked a lot about this in private, and not to reveal private conversations, but just to say that, like, he knows that it serves me no purpose.
Oh, I know who it is.
It serves me no purpose to single a person out because, I shouldn't, like, it don't matter. These are all just other people and other men and women.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know who it is.
Not like whoever they want.
Lewis, I just want to come up here and tell you, bro. You ain't got nothing for me.
If it bothers me, I just need to stay away from it.
I'm gonna be on your ass. Don't worry about
I don't begrudge
anybody. Worry about
you. Hold on. I don't begrudge anybody that hangs in those spaces.
Yeah.
I do.
I ain't gonna kill you right now.
That's why I'm not there.
Cap.
That's why I don't
taking folks out, Cap.
You goddamn right.
You sniping
Crypto.
folks, Cap.
Listen, I'm sniping out the ones that. Listen. The tree will not bear fruit if you do not prune the dead leaves. That is a fucking fact. Okay.
If I take a guess of who it is, can you confirm? Would you confirm or deny?
I mean, if I'm going to answer a direct question. Yeah, I'm honest. So, yeah.
Is it Von Joe?
No.
Oh,
It's
Von
not
Joe would
anybody
never.
that comes around YouTube.
okay.
Oh,
okay.
so it's not a YouTube crowd.
It's
It's Tony.
specifically
Tony, you son of a bitch. No, it ain't Tony.
Tony, that son of a
That
bitch.
son of a bitch, Tony,
It's
dog. I knew it
specifically
was
a
Tony.
Twitter guy.
Look,
I knew it
look,
was Tony.
Exclusively a Twitter
look,
guy.
Tony's a little strong-handed, but he is fair.
Oh, no,
one
Tony's
of the
totally
most
fair.
moderators I've seen on Twitter, even if he is
Okay.
strong-handed.
What about K-Mac? K-Mac. It had to be K.
No, none of them guys. That's what I'm saying. Is
Okay.
it don't
Oh,
matter.
he's an inside leverage guy. Shit.
Oh, I know it ain't True Talk because nobody gives him a makes him.
No, he doesn't, Mike.
Was it Pete?
No, it ain't Pete. It's Spliff.
Well, like I said, Crypto, I'm gonna go light my joint now.
Oh shit! Listen, that would have been.
Shit, it was split.
I'm gonna light my spliff.
Oh,
I wasn't even in space. Just by sheer intuition, I was able to guess who it was. My intuition is on point, fellas.
You pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna take Crypto to me to one of those escape rooms. I feel like we getting out.
It's a matter of saying a person gave me a message and I'm taking it. I don't need to. I don't need to. What's the old saying? Oh damn. Taking a hint. I know how to take a hint.
You know, that's crazy because Spliff usually, but you know what? I don't know. Spliff been going back and forth. Spliff's been able to kind of go on both sides. I see he hangs out in our spaces and does stuff, but I also see he gets over there with the inside.
He followed it up by warning everybody that he would take away any speaking privileges for whatever I had said. But he had already taken mine away. He had already singled me out before he gave that warning.
Right, never gave you the currency at the beginning for everybody.
Damn.
Yeah.
Lou, can you believe this shit?
Man, I wasn't even in that. I need to play the lottery tonight, fellas. Anybody got some
like I
about
said,
$4-5? I'll play some numbers for you.
Control over me. So, I just won't. I know how to take a hint.
Holy shit.
No big deal. I'm just saying
know.
it is what it is.
I know.
For anybody that's going to try to do that to me in the future, now you know it ain't going to do nothing for you.
Now at least I know I can clear my name though, because Spliff has never made me a co-host of his page, so I know I wasn't even a co-host of that shit. So.
And you know what? He wouldn't give you co-host powers. He wouldn't give you co-host powers, Luke, because you would cock block the color disconnect.
You know what?
Thinking of all the people that was available that day.
The space was being main hosted by Mr. Negative.
Oh.
Really?
As far as the main host.
Mr. Negative?
Yep. He was a co-host.
But let's call it for what it is. Don't let his name fool you. We all know Mr. Negative is a pacifist, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying. I think that's who the full host was.
He kind of lays back in the cut when somebody's co-hosting for him. You know.
Yeah.
And I know if I would have re-requested rights, he would have, given them right back to me. So.
Yeah.
And Nene,
I completely
agree.
That wasn't the point.
Nene, I agree. Tony is toxic. I don't know about he's fair though. I don't agree with that part. But the motherfucker's toxic as a motherfucker for real.
Yeah, he is.
Yes. Right.
The consensus is in. This is strange because
toxic. Yeah.
Spliff has been.
And now I got the delusionals in the chat accusing me of singling out Spliff. See that?
Now.
That's because
again, I don't care who it was. I don't care if it was Jesus fucking Christ. You're not gonna fucking take away my right to speak.
It's just
you can take it away in that space, but that's a space I don't have to be in.
Well, here's the thing, Keller. What were you saying that prompted this sort of act?
The stupidest thing, bro, that 1,000 people have said 1,000 times. It wasn't even that bad. I don't even remember. It was so nonsensical.
And Dade, I just want you to know I'm not going to come after you because it's still Black History Month. But as soon as March 1st hits, I'm on your motherfucking ass.
You got 48 hours, Dade. 48 hours you've been put on notice, goddammit.
Damn, the whole fucking. You know what, Dade? You catching these hands too, Dade? I ain't gonna let my boys come up. Look, Ali in here now. What's up?
48 hours, goddammit.
Yeah, Dade.
As soon as March 1st hits, goddammit, I'm on the motherfucking ass.
Damn, they're gonna
actually a little less than 48 hours, more like 27 hours.
I mean, if I would have thought 2 seconds about it after that day, I would have fired up a show and done a show about how I felt about it. It just happened to this topic of conversation came up today, and that was my experience. You know, I didn't need to. Don't matter who it is. It could be
What
Gandhi.
up, Ali?
And by the way, real quick, being that it's Black History Month, I just want to give because I'm going to do the breakdown of the AFL with crypto on Insomnia. So as I was studying, I learned that Lloyd Wells for the Kansas City Chiefs at the time in the AFL was the first Black GM of pro football, and the very first overall pick was from the AFL. His name was Buck Buchanan. Was the very first Black overall pick in the draft. So
Buchanan.
Very
interesting.
Shout out to Buck
I used to have a
Buchanan.
Buck Buchanan football card, man.
Yeah, Buck Buchanan.
That's kind
There
of
you
a
go,
good
Buck
football
Buchanan.
name. I'll give you that one.
That is.
Yeah,
That's
I like
a
the
good
name
universal
Buchanan.
name too.
Yeah.
But I will be breaking more of this
Buchanan
down
and Company.
on Insomnia. By the way, I'll be
Buchanan
breaking more of the
Associates.
AFL down in Insomnia. So catch it this Saturday night. I mean,
Hell,
Sunday
we
morning.
did have a Buchanan for president. So yeah, it's quite the universal name there too. Buck Buchanan. I think Joe Mixon's got to run for his money now. Shit. Buck Buchanan
Damn,
Enterprise.
is Joe Riss right that March is Women's Month?
Yes.
Well,
He's right.
I will
It's
be.
officially Women's Month.
I'll tell you
Women's
what. I'll
History
put that into
Month. It
practice,
is.
ladies. Just so you know, Women's Month is coming, and I'm going to do
Officially,
everything
yeah.
I can to make sure you guys are
And
recognized.
Women's
hey,
History
hey,
Month.
Cap, I was just about to say too, right? That I'm not here to speculate. I don't know what the hell happened between the Tyreek Hill and a certain young lady.
Yeah.
Right? I have no idea what happened. All I'm here to say, Cap, is I understand though. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah, listen. She's a big chick, and I'm not that tall, dude. I'm 5'9" when I stand up straight.
Damn.
But I'm not saying I ain't looking
gonna
to,
propose to her in
get a
Women's
hold of
History
it
Month.
either. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not my. It's not my flavor, and she's way too big for me. But I'm not saying I ain't giving it the old try. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to speculate all about this
I'm
shit,
not
right?
here
But
to speculate. I'm
Yo,
not here to speculate or condone what happened, but I understand. That's all
I
I'm
understand.
saying.
Yo,
I understand.
listen. So I had a bunch to say, but then I thought, you know what? I don't really want to speculate about this stuff, right? Or seem to be speculating. I'll just say this. Remember that scene in what was it? Meet the Parents. Remember the volleyball scene in the pool?
Yeah, where you smashed your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I'm thinking is that, I'm kind of upset about the whole situation personally, because it has personally affected me, because I invited her over to my house to wrestle in my backyard, and she went ahead and played football with Tyreek Hill instead, and it could have gone a whole series of different for everybody involved if she just came over and wrestled with me. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question, like, seriously, about this situation, because I'm kind of confused. I was watching your show last night, El Cap, and I just want to get some clarification. Was she, like, running drills with Tyreek, like they were like she was going one-on-one with Tyreek? Is that basically what happened?
Yeah, they were definitely going one-on-one.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right?
I'm not
They were
trying.
in
Wait,
his backyard.
hold on. I don't want no sexual innuendo. I don't want no.
No,
like,
I'm going to give you the
locker room
real.
talk.
I'm giving you the real.
I want the real. Go
I'm going to
ahead.
give you the facts. Okay.
Okay.
She signed up her son for his off-season football program. And then he hit her up on Instagram. She told him that she was, 6'1", whatever. And he's like, no way. So he invited her over to the house. Now, apparently, and this is according to her representation, his mother, his sister, his friend, and his trainer were all there in witness to what happened and them fucking around in the backyard. at his house because they probably a lot of them lived there. You know, like anyhow.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
doing Oklahoma drills in the burn
so
out.
Well, this is the reason. There's a reason I'm asking.
Well, hold on. Let me give you the story because the first drill was he did an offensive route, okay, and she kind of got a hold of him because she's a fucking big chick. I mean, she's way bigger than he is. She got a hold of him, right? Now, probably did it wrong and whatever. Then she claims that he got pissed because then he told her, well, your son's going to be playing offensive line. Why don't you play the offensive line and I'll be the outside rusher? And on the fourth drill of that, he pushed her and she fell back, and that's where she broke her leg. And that she said he did it because he was embarrassed because when he went against her on offense in the route, she locked his ass up, right? And everybody laughed at him. She knocked him down on that drill, and his mother, his sister, his friend, and his trainer all laughed because she got a hold of him. And then he made her pay out of aggression a couple of plays later by running through
he
her.
Was steaming. He was like,
this is the reason I'm asking. Okay,
he was just like Ben Stiller. He was steaming. He's like,
yeah, he's ready. He's ready to win the match.
Okay, because here's the reason I'm asking. I know we're all laughing about this situation because the fact that she's 6'1". What is she, like 230? I think you said.
Yeah, something like that.
And whatnot, something like that. Well, the situation is that I expect Tyreek to break ankles all the time, no matter who it is.
Oh, shit. So you're taking umbrage with the fact that he didn't win every rep with this chick.
No. That's not what I'm doing. Let me hear my words because I haven't finished yet. My point is that this is a football game. It is a physical sport. And if you're running drills, and obviously you have a trainer there, right, doing this, and even if you're trying to fuck around or whatever, this sport is physical. You're at the line of scrimmage. I expect my star receiver, who's one of the fastest players in the NFL, to actually break ankles. So what she might think is an aggressive charge at her, as what the verbiage is, what I heard, it could be very well that's a football move in every football game. You know what I'm saying? And I can hear.
Sucks, bro, as much as it sucks, this is lifestyles of the rich and famous, bro. And the fact
what are we talking about? You're talking about it.
Hold on, though. If you're a guy like Tyreek Hill and you've got all that money, you can't just be doing backyard football drills with friends without them signing a damn waiver. That's just the way your life is when you got all that money, bro.
That's that sucks because everybody, and I know people want to say, El Cap, I watched your video last night, and I hear that you think this is really bad, but that doesn't a money cap. I mean, think about this. Think about everybody. She's an OnlyFans star, right? Hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
She's an OnlyFans star, right? Can she answer that? Everything that anybody that does on OnlyFans, anything and everything they do is about one thing: making money and capitalizing on it. And that's what I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Of course, she's.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's gotten a bump. There's no doubt. She's now getting people to look. Listen, I would have never in a million years come across her or went to look this chick up on X. Well, guess what? I did the other day, and I've done probably one or two other times, and now she's getting retweets everywhere, and her Instagram's blowing up. So there is a byproduct that is positive for her.
What the truth. Yeah, my point is, it doesn't matter what the truth is.
No.
Or
here's the problem, Ali. Here's the problem, Ali. Plain and simple. He just got married. He just had another baby mama win a lawsuit with him that he's going to pay child support on another kid. And he's got a chick that he just married that filed for divorce for a day because they had something. I'm assuming that she found this shit out or something else and then overreacted and then came back. He's out on vacation. He's on a team. He's trying to be a superstar, and this shit's coming to him. And the real deal is, the one thing he is going to pay for is that he invited a strange woman / OnlyFans plus size, voluptuous woman model to his house, and he was dumb enough to let her in and put himself in the position to have a problem. So that's why he will pay money for this, to make this go away, whether or not she really broke her leg or whether or not he broke it
That's
doing
what I
something
said.
or
That's what I
touched her.
said. She's
It doesn't really
making
matter.
money
He's
no
going to pay
matter
for
what.
being. It's called the stupid tax. You're stupid, you get taxed.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
exactly.
And that's the thing. The guy, I mean, had he ever just thought about helping her pay her medical bills and just, I mean,
and there's people in the chat right now saying this story sounds so fake.
Whether you
It
think it's
kind of
your fault or
does.
not,
It's that stupid.
Hold on a second. Whether you think it's your fault or not, it's your domain, and the thing happened on your domain. And here's a seriously hurt, injured woman. Fine, it don't matter how it happened. You know what I mean? It's like you're a zillionaire. You can't just throw her some ducat for her medical bills and be done with it.
Here's the deal. First of all, who knows? She didn't go to the hospital for days later, anyhow.
Well, fine.
I'm just saying,
that's
right?
True. But it had to come up to him before it came up to us.
It did. He gave her ice and all that stuff. We do know that's
what I
part
mean
of,
is the lawsuit had to come up to him before it came up to the public.
I'm just saying, right? What are you doing inviting an Instagram model chick to your house and and putting yourself in a situation at all? I'm not saying you can't do that, because look, if I was a rich famous athlete, I would use it to my advantage as well. Anyone who says they wouldn't is a fucking liar.
Now,
the problem is this: there's tons of athletes out there banging 1,000 freaking Instagram models, and they're not getting lawsuits and not getting problems because they're not getting they're not in stupid situations, and that's the thing.
One other thing I wanted everybody to consider too is that a lot of times, and I think this is how like businesses try to get away with it, like for an employee or something, or a customer that might slip and fall or something. He may have said, "Hey, he might have pulled out his checkbook and said, "Hey," and he may have been trained to do this by his lawyer. He may have pulled out his checkbook and said, "Hey, how about like 20 grand make for any kind of suffering you might have going forward." And if she turned that down, he's got her. You see what I'm saying? Because he can now go into court and say he was trying to make amends and she turned it down. So she has now absolved at that point him of any responsibility of it. You see what I'm saying? And that if they can get him to say, nah, or even take the money, especially if they take the money, then it's like, now they're always advised not to. It may not work for him, but that's going to be his claim is, oh, I tried to give her something for any future pain, and she turned it down.
Hey guys, can I comment to this? Because
please, Nene, I would appreciate a female's touch to this topic.
And then I'm in law school, so that's the other thing.
That's great too. Absolutely.
About some of the perception, what this woman does for a living, what her size is, has nothing to do with the situation. And I get it. There's a lot of men on here, so we're speaking with the lower region versus the law, right? So LCAP, when you read this off, you read off that she has witnesses.
Yes.
There's screenshots of the conversations between her and Tyreek Hill. None of this was mentioned about a settlement or anything like that. And I agree with Color's point earlier from the logistical standpoint. Did he have her sign a waiver for any type of physical contact or anything like that? If that was not in the agreement, and he is deemed responsible, whether he pushed her, whether he farted and she fainted, either way it goes, he is responsible for the physical harm. Now, the other thing I don't like is, and I get it, a lot of men have perceptions about women, no matter what the situation is. Oh, what was she wearing? What she looks like, and all of this other nonsense. In law, that has nothing to do with how rulings come to play. If anything, right, and what makes me mad is who is Tyreek Hill, right? He's had situations with violence in women from his Kansas City days. So if we're gonna, and I haven't heard no one in the chat. I didn't hear a lot of people on the panels bring up his character, right? He just had a house fire. Who knows what that really was about? It could have been this. It could have been another. He has 7 maternity suits. That
Yep.
one, he just
He's had a
agreed
couple
to-
of assault cases. He's had a
Yeah.
he,
Well,
listen,
that woman incident didn't happen in Kansas City. It happened in college.
yeah,
But
but it was
my whole
resolved
point,
in
it
Kansas
goes
City.
back. My whole point is while we're speaking her size, her weight, what she does for a living, we haven't mentioned none of these things of his character, right? Whether it happened in Kansas City, Miami, Overtown, it happened. He has a history of domestic um, abuse or whatever, and then just the physical aspect, right? Didn't he just have a situation with the guy with the boat, right?
Yes, yep.
So
Yep.
I'm all about this.
Yeah, kind of slapping people around. You know?
So, Nene, yesterday when I talked about it, I did go into his history and stuff. I think what it dissolves down to is that it doesn't really matter because we do know that there is plenty of, and I'm sure there's plenty of men that do it, but we do know it is commonplace for there to be a women with the connotation of gold digger, that their entire position is to capitalize off of, you know, a way in this manner. The problem is that because of the history of Tyreek Hill and all this stuff, why is he putting himself in this situation? And that's why it really dissolves down to it doesn't matter. He's gonna have to pay because he's now effed up royally. He has a litany of background. This woman being invited to his house, literally none of this stuff could have happened, and it's still gonna cost him because that's how much little leeway he's allowed himself through his past, and then being dumb enough to just be putting himself in this situation. If this was a first offense, it would be a stupid offense. The fact that it's a multitude of offenses of putting yourself in dumb situations and overreacting, just like he did at the Marina the year before, it's like, damn. And now think about it like this too. This incident with this woman happened around the Marina incident. It happened within months of that same ordeal.
There's not enough time
that was my
separating
question.
between the two incidents.
Well, real quick, Ali. The other thing I wanted to add, and Ali, you I don't know if it was like this at your time that you lived in Ohio, but in Missouri, and Tyreek Hill coming from Missouri should having lived there should know this. Like, people sue their own family for slipping on the stairs when it's covered in ice, man. Like, you gotta scrape the ice off your stoop, man, or your own brother will sue you. You know what I mean?
they get sued all the time. But here's my question is that if this happened during the Marina time, why the hell is it now just coming out?
Oh, Ali, I can answer to that because whenever.
Thank you. That's what I'm just trying to get the facts. Go ahead.
I answer that. Law is not like what you see on TV. I know when you watch a TV show, an incident happens, 24 hours later, we have an arrest, and then 2 hours later, you have a court date. That's not how it works. A lot of times when things like this happen, they have to go to their processes. She may have not reported it to now. She may have reported this sooner, and they tried to work certain deals. It all depends on if this is going to be civil. Is it going to be domestic? It all depends on what type of charge is going to be, if any, right? So I just don't like that 1920 mindset. I know we have the Me Too movement that kind of cleared up some of that. Well, if they got raped or they got hurt, why wait till now? Well, a lot of times it all depends on the law of the state. What are the negotiations between the lawyers? Did she have to wait for her MRI results? Did she have to wait for her X-ray results? You know, and then remember, a lot of what we're going to see publicly is probably not the timeline that actually happened. This is probably when we're finding out about this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because the reason I'm asking this is because if this really happened the way that it's being portrayed, why, I want to know why didn't we find out about it at the same time as the Marina? Because the Marina thing happened, and then 2 or 3 days later, we hear about it. Next thing you know, they're investigating, and all this stuff was coming out so quickly. In this case, it comes out of nowhere, right? And what you just told me, they're gonna see if they can be at a civil lawsuit. They need to figure out what due process they're gonna take, or what negotiation they can do. That's just sounding to me, and no offense, I'm not condoning anything that has supposedly happened, right? But what I am saying is that it's sounding more and more to a layman person as a money grab. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Here's the thing with the money grab. We got to be careful with language and verbiage, right? Because if Tyreek Hill didn't do what he did, there's no money to be grabbed. If he just let the woman's son go to his camp and not fly her out, that's the other detail that's important, right? What is those DMs that we didn't see? Why is he flying this woman out, right? If she's allegedly and well from her career, why couldn't she drive herself? Why did she couldn't fly? Why is he paying for anything? So that's why I urge caution when we come to certain assumptions. I just think it's that mentality that whenever it evolves, especially when one is attractive, right? Because if this woman was just a natural looking woman and didn't have, a lot of people probably wouldn't have the reservations as they do. But when you see certain things, we come to an opinion automatically as to what's going on. I just say wait for the facts.
Well, here's the thing. Here's another thing.
That's a good point. Good.
It's I want to say money grab, but it's in the same realm of publicity stunt. Like I said, let's say even if they come to a settlement, at the end of the day, her name recognition has gotten big. So now she's gonna get a lot of people wanting to subscribe to her OnlyFans, which I'm sure she charges money for it. So, that helps her tremendously. So it's a win-win.
That was kind of my good.
That's what I keep. And hold on, that's what I keep trying to understand. Why does her career matter in this matter when it's a situation where we don't know what negotiate? It could have been as simple as, let's just wait for your off season to handle this. We don't know those details, but I think because she's very attractive, right? She has a career of alleged, prostitution or whatever. We're concentrating more on that. That if he would have just kept his hands to himself.
I'll tell you why.
That's the problem.
Can I tell you why it matters? Because at the end of the day, the market that she's in is fluctuating. It is saturated. So at the end of the day, you need something to do to stick out, to make yourself get yourself a little bit edge, to make yourself more stick out from the crowd, to get more viewers and more clicks.
But Shake, that doesn't make sense because she didn't tackle herself. It's not like she went up to Tyreek Hill and said, "Oh, fall on me." No,
but here's it's called serendipity. This is the perfect moment. Hey, this guy's famous. He has a history. Now we could capitalize. It's called capitalizing on a good situation.
Yeah, but I think like when we have shootings, right? I think we should hold off on perceived assumptions until all of the facts are stated. Because what if you're wrong?
I will agree. I will agree with Nene on this. Go ahead. I'll wait till you're finished. I'm sorry, Nene. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, like I said, what I'm trying to do, what some people will never do, take away her career, take away how she looks, and just look at what we know of what he did.
When you study a case, that's what you got to do. We're looking at everything at its totality. I'm looking at everything at its totality. I'm not just saying because she's an OnlyFans. I'm looking at everything at its totality as well.
What if she?
I'm not just doing. Hold on. I'm not doing the superficial.
But Shake, what if she pumped gas at the 7-Eleven?
Yes, she don't. That doesn't make no difference. We're dealing. You want to talk about facts? We're dealing with the facts. And I'm that's all I'm saying. This has nothing with her gas, whatever. This is what I'm speculating. It has nothing to do with just being an OnlyFans model. This is what I just speculated. Because at the end of the day, her job. Hold on, let me talk. Her job is dependent on clicks and views, and this is the best way to get clicks and views.
So what? But Shake, listen to what you're saying. You're saying that this woman who has confirmed X-rays and physical evidence that she was harmed, that she did all of this just to get a click and a view, like she hurt herself. Like to me,
no, she didn't hurt herself, but she's milking it.
No, I don't agree with that, and I think
you don't have to agree with me.
Well, what I'm saying is,
that's why we live in a country where we could agree to disagree.
What I am saying is, just like I use the hard example of shootings, right? When we see certain things on TV, we automatically come to an assumption, oh, this is what happened, right? But what if you find out there was a whole bunch of other facts to this situation instead of demonizing this woman in her career? That has nothing to do with anything.
How are we
She didn't
demonizing her?
physically hurt herself.
How am I demonizing her? I want to know, how am I demonizing her?
But what I am saying, and I keep
no.
saying,
Answer my question. How am I demonizing her?
I just,
Because you're accusing me of something that
in my
I don't
opinion,
appreciate. How am I demonizing her?
In my opinion, when you just said she's milking,
No. How am I demonizing her? Tell me. No, that's tell me, how am I demonizing
answering the
her?
question. When you use language that's provocative in nature of she's milking it, it's for clicks. Her job depends on that. I don't think that's fair because we don't know all the facts.
And I don't think that's fair what you're doing to Tyreek Hill. Oh, he has a history of hitting women and doing this and
I
that.
just threw that out there.
Okay,
I just threw that out there to even the nuance of the situation because no one is talking about that. You're only talking about her.
So you're demonizing him then?
No. When I'm saying, hear me very clear.
Him.
I'm on no side of the equation, right? What I am saying is, based off of the comments and the things that were said on the panel and things I've heard, we're only talking about her, but there's a side to Tyreek Hill outside of Cap that has to be mentioned on his past, his career, his behavior in the last 365 days.
Well, what about her behavior in the last 365 days?
What I mean is, in the last 365 days, he has a questionable burning of his house. He has all these paternity suits. He just settled out of the stuff with the marina, and that's just in a year. But none of that is being discussed when we talk about this. All we keep telling is how beautiful her body is, and well, I don't blame him with sexual connotation, and we're not looking at the actual incident. She didn't harm herself.
I do agree
in the court
that we
of law,
have
they
to
will look at both sides of the equation in its totality.
Yeah, that I do agree. We have to wait till all the facts come out, but that goes for both parties. We can't automatically make the assumption that Tyreek's guilty of anything, and we can't really say that she is either. But there is one fact that, I mean, not really a fact, but the whole premise that she injured herself. It's not that she injured herself, but in the process of actually covering Tyreek, it doesn't even have to be physical. You can still have those same injuries happen. That was my point. This is a physical game. Anybody can get hurt, and anything is possible. So I do agree with you. We shouldn't demonize her, like you said. I do agree that what it shouldn't really matter what her profession is, but the reality is that being somebody that I know, like it's not that I have read and people, I've just listened to people. I know people that have worked in that avenue of work. And I know for a fact that they try to capitalize on every money lead that they have. And that's why I ask those questions. Are we sure that this isn't that? And the reality is, for me, we learned the biggest lesson of all. Don't make assumptions about something. Look what happened to Matt Ariza, for example. He wasn't even at the location that supposedly what happened and got him kicked off the Buffalo Bills in the first place. So we do have to take a step back. Yeah, we do have to take a step back. Wait till we get the facts and then make the assumptions. You are right about
the NFL jumped the gun on Deshaun Watson. I told
everybody from day one
it was a gold digging fest. I was the only one that said it from day one. And then it took 19 months later for two Texas judges and two separate counties to agree with what I said initially in the first case, that these women was outright gold digging.
Come on,
every single one of them.
I was right with you, bro.
And let me ask the panel something.
Sure.
If this was a reverse, a female athlete and a attractive male fan, will we still have the same beliefs about the situation?
Who's getting injured?
But my whole thing is the gender of this has a lot to do with people's opinions.
Yes, Nate. I was going to actually try to bring that levity to the discussion for both sides by saying, hey, I think what Shake is trying to say is that originally your first statement was that, he was, I guess, denigrating her profession. But what he's trying to say is it wouldn't matter if she was selling used cars or if it was a he selling used cars.
Well, Color,
if that's what got him clicks, he would take advantage of it. You see what I'm saying?
Well, Color, the only reason why I came up, and partially for something that Crypto said, and just let me finish. A lot of times when these situations happens and a woman makes a claim, oh, it's about money. She's trying to hurt her brother, you know. And I'm just a firm believer. Like
I
a
mean,
lot
I
of
would say
times,
that about it. Forget OnlyFans for a second. I would say that about any YouTuber.
well, but
Yeah.
my whole point is when
Mhm.
I read and listened, because the good thing about Cap and he left, right, is when he did his show last night. And I urge everybody in the comments, especially Bill's fake crowd noise. That's a perfect name for him, by the way. Go and listen to what he said as they read the report. Apparently, she has witnesses, she has evidence. And when I look at all of that stuff right there, I think people look at
All
legal
right.
legal suits like it's a TV show. These processes are not 24, 72 hours. These processes are months. And it all depends on a lot of variables that a lot of times the public is not going to know that information. Only the lawyers and the people that's involved. We look
Okay.
at it because when we watch a Netflix documentary, you know what's going to happen within uh uh let's say a 2 hour span of a case. But a lot of times different cases, especially when someone has been physically hurt and they have to go through rehab, all these different things, there's a longer time constraint. I'm not saying that you guys are not right on your assumptions. I just thought it was interesting. You didn't hear anybody on the panel outside of Cap and Color brought some comments. And the moment I started bringing up the other side of it, there's a defense mechanism. We got to protect the boy. We got to protect him. No, we don't know all of the facts, and his character
Yeah,
isn't the best neither. That's all I was
I agree.
asking.
Well,
That's
here's the
all I'm
thing.
saying.
All right, here's the thing. All right, we got two slip and falls. One in my house and one at Walmart. Both suffered the same injury, but guess who's getting the most money?
Well, like I said, all of that
Mhm.
is kind of irrelevant to me. I'm just speaking to what I saw from the comments and a lot of the voices. All you kept hearing was OnlyFans, the way her body was shaped, a lot of the other components of the situation, the text messages, him flying her out. All of these different things are not in the conversational piece. It's only her and that she's an OnlyFans model and she looks good in her
I
body.
don't. I have no issue with OnlyFans model. I think that
No,
hey,
I'm not
that's the
directing
hustle.
it to
That's the
you.
hustle.
I'm just talking about in general, like from the consensus of the situation, and just trying to bring some clarity because I am in school for it. There's no disrespect to anybody else, but this stuff is not like night and day like on TV. This is real life. It takes time. It's different factors. A lot of times, the public, we're not going to know all of the situations, and for whatever the article was, you only got a snippet of probably what all of the information in terms of the case. So that's to answer Ali's question. Well, why is it taking so long? Or why did it, a lot of times you're not going to be privy to that information, because especially if it's an ongoing investigation or ongoing case. I didn't want to bring up no fighting, but I just think it's so interesting with everybody debating about how she looks and asking for it or whatever. Nobody brought up Tyreek Hill and his possibility of just being undisciplined and just doing some stupid things of late. And I appreciate Cap
Yeah,
because he was one of the
I
only
agree.
ones that
Like
said,
Antonio Brown. If something was happening to Antonio Brown,
same thing. But I just learned like we kind of gravitize to these
Yeah, Antonio Brown
athletes,
is
these
that's next level.
entertainers, and we put them on these holy grails of when people come forward about things, or they didn't do it, or it's a money grab. We don't know these people. A lot of times they do it, but they cover it up with money. That's
mm-hmm.
another argument that could be said. A lot of times a check is cut and people are silenced and quiet. And that was the only thing I was adding was that part of the argument.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing I hate
I
though
think
is
he
the
may
fact
try to
that
let his homeowners insurance fight it out. What do you think of what about that angle? Is that something that his homeowners insurance would cover?
In some cases, it can actually color. And I'll use a case in point to prove on why that can work out. Not necessarily work out, but you can do that. In the case of Johnny Depp versus Heard or whatever her first name is, she actually used her homeowner's insurance to pay for her legal fees. So that is a possible deal.
Right. What got me thinking about it was Jake's point about if it was Walmart or his domain, which one would get you the more money? Well, in your case, Shake, I think that would be an insurance that they would get the money from in your case, but Walmart would fork out the money on their own because they kind of are their own insurance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They got their own
Yeah, that's
underwriter.
true. Yeah, I definitely hear everybody's point. I definitely hear Nene's point as well. You know, I'm kind of on the standpoint that we don't know all the facts. We're only going by what we know of both parties, and we just gotta kind of wait till we get all the facts to really make the assumption. But
Yeah, and I know a lot of people trolling, but there are people that simply believe. Like, there's a comment in there. I won't say the name. Oh, she's an OnlyFans model. I don't have any sympathy for her. Yeah, at the end of the day, no matter what her
Man, she's
occupation.
doing an honest living, man. What the fuck's
I
wrong
mean,
with
at
that?
the end of the day, that doesn't change because you do certain jobs or professions that you're not a human being, and especially
If
we're in
that gets her to the
America.
next station, Nene, then I can't begrudge any red-blooded American for getting themselves to the next station. You know,
Well,
She's
well, like
making
I
an honest
said,
living,
not like
dude.
what she's not like what she's doing ain't legal. You know, as far as taking it, even if it is a case where let's take her profession off of it and what she is marketing, you know, and put it on just your average YouTuber, right? I mean, as much as I'd hate to do that to somebody, principally speaking, I can't imagine I wouldn't get myself to the next station if something like that didn't
Hey,
happen to
listen.
me, and I
can
couldn't.
I ask one other question?
I want to say
OnlyFans
something
is
real
not
quick.
illegal.
Go ahead.
This is
Go ahead.
unpaid.
I got my I have more respect for OnlyFans model than I have these fucking scam artists that call people and trick these old folks out of their fucking retirement savings.
agreed,
That's
agreed,
true.
sir.
I definitely agree with that. That's true.
And on that note, there's a whole cottage industry
Exactly.
guys of YouTubers making money,
Mhm.
broadcasting themselves trying to reverse take out these scammers. Like they scam the
Yeah.
scammers. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
those are
notion
actually kind of
is,
cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
and my notion
Yeah.
is, I'm going to get back to my studying, but you know, when people marginalize people
Mhm.
that they don't deserve basic human respect or dignity,
Mhm.
okay, because you a stripper, you should be beaten up and not treated like a human being, or
Mhm.
you have a past and you shouldn't get the rights of everybody else. And just to let everybody know, my field is social justice, so I'm very into everybody deserves, if you, especially if you live here in America, you have rights. You're not just cut off from society because you have a certain
Mhm.
occupation or you look a certain way. So maybe my perspective comes more from that side of things. And I know it all depends on how people are raised. You know, some people, the way that they're
Yeah.
raised, things like this is okay. You know, things like this on both sides out. And in the event of stars
Mhm.
being attacked and targets because they have money. I see both
Mhm.
perspectives. I'm just saying I
Mhm.
was not hearing anybody in the chat or in the panel look at this from another stanza. Look at
Well,
Tyreek
Mhm.
that's
Hill's
what you're here
behavior with
for, was
women.
to
Well,
remind us
Look,
to do that.
look at
yeah,
Tyreek.
you're
All I'm
yeah.
saying
See,
is
other
Tyreek Hill
shows wouldn't
is
have had you up to make
Mhm.
that point. So we actually kind of did through you.
Let
You're
me
our
ask you this, Nene,
watchdog.
or anybody on the panel. I need to know this information because this is why I still kind of think this is more about money. And the reason I you know, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal profession person, so I'm asking as a layman person. Okay, I've seen comments from various people. I'm not going to name names. Some people right here in the chat, some people on Twitter that said that Tyreek is going to end up in jail, that he belongs in jail. But what I'm reading is that she's suing him, which
Wait a
it
minute.
basically
Charges were
sounds.
pressed.
Hold on. That's kind of where I'm getting at. It's one thing if charges are being pressed and it's criminal charges, right? But in this case, you're suing somebody for money because of some type of damage.
Right,
You know, I can understand the health reasons and stuff because of what she went through. I
There's
get that. So it has to do with
no
money,
denial of
right?
guilt. Right.
Yeah. And so for me, in that sense, is one, did he do anything that's criminal that really causes him to have to be in jail for this? And two, that's why I still think it's more about money, you know, because of the fact that it's not like
Ali, let me ask
it's
you
not like she's
something.
bringing criminal charges and she made a police report. And the reason I'm bringing this up, and I just want to get this out before you misconstrued anything, is the verbiage is that she made claims that he charged at her violently. So in battery and assault is coming up Why are criminal charges not?
Was that the
So
verbiage or was it aggressive? I don't remember.
That's in the
I haven't
article that
read it.
El Cap read out loud to everybody on the show last night. You can go back and watch it.
But
Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Go ahead.
I'm glad that
Go
you
ahead.
said you're a lame person, because that charge aggressively is lawyer terms. They're not going to put it in simple, like me and you having a conversation,
Right.
because 9 out of 10, there's probably
They
some
have to
type
be
of
clear on the
statute.
nature of right. They have to be clear on the
And
nature of
that's
the
the
act for
why.
the court
And
reporter and all that. You know what I
9
mean?
out of 10, if I'm assuming correctly, this probably will be settled in civil court. It wouldn't be criminal, right? But to your point about people saying he's being, should be arrested, I think Tyreek Hill, and I'm glad somebody brought up Antonio Brown. Sometimes when people have a lot of money and they have a lot of power, sometimes you lose your common sense, and some of the decisions you're making is causing your own problem. And that's where I was going with that. And somebody said I'm victimizing her. No, I'm making her a human, because there's a consensus in the chat. Just because she looks a certain kind of way and she's shaped a certain kind of way, and this is Tyreek Hill, she actually deserved whatever happened to her. And to me, I say
Yeah.
be mindful of, we don't have all of the information. So who are we to say what she deserved?
And Nene, somebody made the comparison to the accusers / whatever of Deshaun Watson, and in that case, there were people making actual false allegations about an act that he did or did not do. That's not the same as we know this happened and we're trying to determine who's negligent for her injuries. That's not even close to the same thing. Because what was happening in that case was a question of, can a person be brought up on charges based on certain power dynamics that were involved in the relationship between Deshaun Watson and those women? The courts decided no. Okay, they weren't going to let they weren't going to enter spectral evidence. Okay, and that's why he was being accused of something he did not do. This is not the same, even remotely the same thing as who is negligent in Tyreek Hill's domain when he aggressively charged her, whatever the verbiage was, because they've got to be clear to the court. They can add the context of football if they want to in the court proceedings, but they have to be clear on record what the act actually entailed.
Right, and that has, and I want to mention, Jamie, that the criminal part of it is, Raina, it's a certain verbiage that you have, it's certain criteria you have to make. And let's be clear.
Yeah, like the police have to be called and like a report has to be filed.
Right.
I mean, all kinds of
and
stuff.
here's the other thing, just for FYI, because I heard some garbage. Individual cannot, they can press charges, but to send someone to court for rape and stuff like that, it has nothing to do with the person. It has a lot to do with the actual the state. The state brings charges to people, not individuals.
I mean, if they were playing tag football,
it's crazy what people.
If they were all getting together 5-on-5 tag football, family, there's kids, there's the woman, there's Tyreek, and they're all playing tag football, and he goes and charges her and levels her, that would be maybe something you could that would be borderline criminal. You see, but that's not what happened.
Right, and that's what my whole point is, and I'll be honest, I'm a woman. I've been through certain things. I in my military career, I dealt with people that was raped, sexually assaulted, and these comments when you hear people, oh, she deserved it, or look how she's dressed, look how she's shaped. That does not constitute somebody's behavior because someone is shaped and dressed and looks a certain way. And it's not saying that Tyreek Hill actually did all these things, but
I can only speak for myself, Nene. I can't even imagine ever even just like hitting a woman like that, even on a football field. I'm sorry, I'm old fashioned. I admit, maybe I'm sorry if that's showing and stuff.
But to me, I just like, Ali, you brought up a great point of when Cap read off, the article, and that was just the article. That's not the actual, like case. So the article is only going to be certain things that they would, that's public knowledge. So I'm sure there's more nuances to the why, and it's not. It could be a situation where she's advancing because he is Tyreek Hill and he has his money. But people sue people all the time, whether you're
Well, maybe
poor,
that's what the Jake
rich,
Paul
it doesn't matter.
maybe that's what the Jake Paul call out is about, is saying, hey, I'll fight this guy, so he can go into the court saying, oh, I'm trying to dip my toes into everything. That was just that was supposed to be a spectacle.
Yeah. The other thing is and this is the one part I forgot to bring up when I was talking about like the fact that she's suing him, and it doesn't say anything about criminal charges or anything like that, and all that. When I brought that up, the one thing that I forgot to mention is that this also came right after it came out that the Miami Dolphins do have possibly a contract on the table to extend Tyreek that is wealthy for both parties involved. And that's what I mean. I don't know. I'm just going based on one angle. When I see all the facts, like you said, and we finally get to see all the court documents and what actually transpired, then I can look at it at a different angle. But until I have that info, that's all I can look at.
But here's the thing, though, and this is why I'm able to take it off her actual what she's marketing online, and just put it on your generic YouTuber, because we're talking about an OnlyFans model with a big following who went to Tyreek Hill's. I mean, wasn't the whole event sort of I wouldn't say a favor to her, but like basically saying, hey, let's both generate something out of this? I mean, it's not like he called me up to go have a football drill session to, bolster my clicks. You know what I mean? My point is I can't imagine that it wasn't on both parties kind of like even if it was a silent agreement, like in, a telepathic agreement, like, hey, this is what we're trying to generate in the first place by doing this whole thing.
Yeah, and Color, that's why I agree with you initially. Was there a contract or terms? Because usually when you do stuff like that,
Well, that's what I'm saying, Nene.
yeah,
If
there
that's the
should have been
case,
some
then he
clause.
is totally negligent for not having her sign a waiver and having all that
Right.
written out.
And Ali, that's the point I initially want to come up to. That Color is absolutely correct. And this is why the onus has to be on Tyreek Hill and the people surrounding Tyreek Hill. Because before he does anything, I'm sure he has a team where they coordinate events and things like that. And one of the things that should always be mentioned, what happens if someone gets hurt? Because if you don't have anything in writing that we're not liable for injuries, that you're doing this on your own and you're taking your own risks, then that's where she will win. I'm being honest, probably automatically, if nothing was in place, because you should have that statute, whether if it's kids, men or women, it doesn't matter. If you're doing an event where someone can get hurt, right, or harmed, he should have, and that's why I say he's guilty in that retrospect. Maybe not his past per se, but just using the common sense that this is a physical event where if they get hurt, I'm liable to pay not only for the injuries, because there's another domain when it comes to injuries, right? Emotional distress. Because what if your injuries cause you to have to do rehab and all of that other stuff? And you can get compensation for that as well. And
that's where I do agree with you on that, because basically what he's done is he's proven that, no offense to Tyreek, because I love the guy, what he does on the field and everything. You're being stupid, because here's the reality. Everybody can take advantage of you when you don't have those documents in place, that you don't have those NDAs or whatever you want to call it, waivers or whatever. You know what I mean? And this is also on Drew Rosenhaus, because he could have protected his investment. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter that Drew. Hold on, real quick. It doesn't matter that Drew Rosenhaus may only get 15% of his contract or whatever. The fact is whatever money that Tyreek makes as his agent, you make a percentage. You need to protect that money and that investment by getting the right people around him to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen. Right. And if it's happening, that's on Drew Rosenhaus, and it's definitely on Tyreek. I definitely agree with you.
And Ali, in this particular case, I'm usually one of those I'm one of those people. I guess my standing position is that I'm kind of more of a tort reform guy. I don't think people should I think these lawsuits get way overblown, you know what I mean, in our society in general. But in this case, it actually applies, because even if he could argue, look, we made it a spectacle. Everybody she knew what she was getting into. He could go that route, right? But even if, putting aside the responsibility of the domain itself, the fact that it's his property that it happened on, even if it was a slip and fall, you know what I mean? Putting that aside, okay, that would get you medical bills, right? But but as far as all the pain and suffering and all that, now, agreement here. Everybody knew what the hell was going on. She knew what she was doing, blah, blah, blah. She made a spectacle out of it herself. However, he gets paid millions of dollars for a particular reason, because he's an elite, like, person. I mean, his elite athleticism and all that got him into that station, but he's an elite person in society, which means that he has a power. Okay. And a person, even if they think they know what they're getting into, a layperson may underestimate that power. And he turned on that power on her. You see what I'm saying?
Well, and here's something I want to add, because I do have to go.
You could argue that she knew what she was getting into, but did she really, is what I'm saying.
But
like,
Color,
it's one thing to think you know what it's like to go against the superstar athlete, but it's another when he actually turns on the power. You see what I'm saying?
Well, here's the only thing I would add, because now that discussion was, again, it's money, and to be fair, it has to be. I don't know about you, but there's only a certain group of population where medical is free. Hold on. Let me get to my point, because I'm gonna drop down, and then y'all can debate however long you want. But what is medical free? Her going to the hospital, getting the X-rays, getting the MRI, getting the surgery. All of that stuff costs money. So when we say a money grab per se, yes, if he's responsible for causing the injury, and he didn't have anything in legal document that, hey, you're going to participate in this event. If it's a physical event and it's something simple that any lawyer could have drawn up for him.
Because you may be underestimating my true power. And if that ends up happening and something happens because of it, you see what I'm saying? It's not because he's just an average Joe. He's a millionaire for a reason, because he has that power. So he has to take that into consideration as, look, what if something crazy happens if that power gets turned on?
Right. And I get about the whole power thing. All I'm talking about is Tyreek Hill has lawyers. This is no different than when that big dummy, and this is why I'm calling him out, that big dummy went on social media and said that reporters were lying when they found out he filed for divorce. When you could just go online and you could see it. You could see the petitioner. You can see all of the claims. And you had fans, right? Because Tyreek Hill tweeted that the media was lying on him. He never filed for divorce, only for him, I think, in 2 weeks to backtrack and said he did divorce, but it was a mistake because one of his lawyers misunderstood him, or whatever that situation may be. I'm just saying the concessions of the public opinion, because this person has money, power, to your point, power and influence. They can do no wrong, because I remember when that divorce proceeding came out. It's probably the same weirdos that's in the chat right now that's going to bat for him. Was saying that. Hold on, Color. They were saying that people was lying, that notable reporters from the Sun Sentinel and the West Palm Beach paper, they made the story up, when anybody with common sense know in the state of Florida, right? When you file for divorce, that is public records. It's just like when you get married. So that my whole point is this group of people, and maybe I'm wasting my time and energy for even debating and entertaining these people, that this not far-fetched that Tyreek Hill is not making good decisions. And the fact that he's not making good decisions, he's having to pay for it financially. The same thing with the Marina Boat incident, and probably with this girl, because if there's no documentation that says she signed the right that she would participate in this event, knowing she could be physically harmed, if there's nothing to that sort there, then he didn't protect himself. So it's not like it's a money grab. He's getting he's giving money away because his
Right,
team
right.
is not protecting him.
Right,
And
and
I
I
land there.
just wanted to correct for myself because I'm not. I don't want to debate actual power dynamics in the idea of him thinking he could get away. You know, he could do no wrong or whatever. You're welcome to have that opinion and debate anybody on that. I just don't want to go down that road myself. But as far as speaking about the power that I'm talking about, like, yeah, you could call it power dynamics, but in this case, it's actual physical power, is what I mean. Like, he is an exceptional elite athlete, and the average person, look, there's exceptional elite athletes out there that are not football players, and they think they're exceptional elite athletes, and even that type of person might underestimate the actual power of any given football player when they actually turn on the jets. You know what I mean? Like, they
Yeah,
play, like when we
and
see them
color,
practicing
I
and all that,
wonder.
that's like they're able to act. They're like boxers. They're able to actually hit each other at like less strength. You know what I mean? It's not until game time or even playoff time, you could argue, where they really let it all hang out. You know what I mean? And if you're talking about the average person may underestimate that true power of any given NFL athlete. I don't mean to, again, I wanted to take it off power dynamics as far as like, you know, being a rich athlete. I just meant like the actual power she could have underestimated. So I don't think that it's necessarily a fair cop out for Tyreek to just say, oh, well, she knew what she was getting into. Well, she might have thought she did. But again, when you're talking about the actual physical power of your even your weakest football player, even Ted Ginn could have done that to her.
Well,
You know
but
what I mean?
color. My point is not even about Tyreek Hill. It's the
That's what I'm
people
saying.
around him, his team. Somebody should have said. And
No,
here's
that's what
the
I'm
other
saying.
thing. Here's the other thing that comes to mind. Why are you holding this event at your house? Like that. Like that makes it even worse. Why are you holding an event
Oh,
with a
yeah, that's the other
stranger?
thing. If she invited him to her domain and baited him into doing that, that'd be completely different.
And that's why it looks like. That's why I ain't gonna lie. I got an idea. It's a little bit more to their relationship is this from what I think of it. I just think that we'll find out more as information continues. And I know some people are trolling, but let's be honest and let's be adults. I think everybody's over the age of 18. Whenever you have some type of event, or maybe people never had the experience of holding events. I know when I was in the military and we had certain events when I was a recruiter with the kids, we had to get the people to sign waivers, right? If they were doing like the jump rope or they were climbing the wall or something, whatever we were doing, the push-up challenge, we have to give the parents consent to sign a waiver that if an injury happens, the U.S. Army is not responsible for it, that you're doing this at your own risk. And to me, for Tyreek Hill to be who he is, and given that we know what they were going to do was going to be physical, this is not an athlete. Even though she's OnlyFans, she's not technically an athlete. You should have had
Ultimately,
her
it's going to
sign
come down
something.
to an insurance fight because the fact of it is he's gonna default to his insurance basically, and it could be a case where he has some kind of policy to where he thought he was comfortable not getting the waivers or whatever because maybe he has an insurance clause that is kind of like a uninsured motorist coverage for your driver's insurance. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
where it's
like
like,
color,
okay, if anything happens here on my grass, it's covered. You know what I mean?
like
So
color.
he may
I
just
don't
default to
know if
the
you
insurance company anyway and let them fight it out.
I haven't been in the area for a long time, but they used to have that theme park that went right over I-95 where you could drive the go-karts and all that different stuff. Oh my God, what's the name of the place? The Grand Prix. Even when you
That
did
Grand
that,
Prix racer on it.
you had once you got in whatever vehicle that was, you had to sign a waiver because if you got hurt, then you can't turn around and sue me. And that's the part where I need the people that probably are not trolling. They're just not intelligent. They're ignorant. Whenever you do something like that, you need to, just like a boxer, protect yourself at all times because I have money and I don't want these people to sue me. And to me, for
Well,
Tyreek
yeah,
Hill,
because right, and who would cover that cost? Somebody's insurance company. So, in other words, if Tyreek would have made a place his own private domain, let's say, or we could call it private public, where it's open to the public but it's owned by him, where he could basically create a gym, put a fake football field inside of it, and people come in. Now there might be waivers they got to sign, maybe there's not, but it's clear on signage all over the place. Enter at your own risk. Well, if somebody still gets hurt there, being that it's open to the public, it still has to fall on the owner of the domain. But in the case where it's a place to do that at, then obviously there's some kind of insurance involved that would be covering that, some kind of underwriting that would be underwriting that. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's why, and again, I just know some people are just who they are, and it doesn't matter how much facts and truth you give
I am
them.
not a lawyer. I'm just speaking as a person that
You got common sense.
If I was going to set up a gymnasium open to the public, these are the things I would think about as a layperson. I don't even have to be a lawyer to know that I'd probably want to get some kind of underwriting for any accidents or injuries that nobody wants.
That's right.
Well, in the chat, this Joe Risk guy, and I've been trying to avoid calling him by name. I guarantee the complete opposite. I guarantee he has waivers. You have to be in compliance to something. And when you're not in compliance to something and someone gets injured, guess what, Joe Risk? You're going to be financially responsible for everything that stems from that incident, whether that's the medical bills, whether that's the x-ray, whether that's the physical therapy, if that's the emotional distress. And you can't cry because welcome to America, sir. That's how it works. People can sue you. If you go to a store, let's say you go to the Publix and you slip on the floor because somebody improperly mopped that floor, and if they didn't have that sign, so I can make it plain and simple to you because you're really getting on my nerves. So I can make it plain and simple to you. Publix will always have a sign once they mop the little yellow cone. You open it up and it says,
"Do not slip for slippery on wet."
Right, or be careful. A wet spot, right? Because guess what, Joe Risk and AB, and some of you people that's just being retarded right now at this point, if they don't have that thing and you walk over there and you slip and fall and you hurt your neck, whether you're OnlyFans, retired vet, unemployed, smoker, crackhead, turn wrenches, watch the Defense Tailgate, whatever your occupation is, guess what you can do to Publix? You can sue. Because guess what? This is America. And you have to have things in place to protect yourself. And if you don't protect yourself at all times, someone can legally sue. And I land my plane there. Color, happy birthday to you, sir. I knew I loved you for
Hey,
a
by the way,
Pisces.
yeah, next month, Nene, I got to get with you to do the In the Blender show. I definitely got to get with you.
Oh yeah. I'll be honest. I'm gonna be doing some stuff with Miss Fans and Fansanity. March 4th through the 8th is my spring break, and if I can't get you, then I will be physically on vacation, coming home to Miami in May. So if we don't get together,
yeah, it's gonna be until I do episodes all the way until July, and then once the season starts, I stop it.
Right. I'm sorry I had to go off on that, but some people just make some people make you have to cut on the switch, and you got to talk to them at their levels because apparently the common sense wasn't common. When you don't protect yourself at all times, guess what people can do? They can sue you. But Shake, I love you, Crypto. I got something for you on out for spring break. I got something for you. But Color, again, happy birthday. Y'all, thank y'all and have a good night.
All right, man. Good night. Yeah, we're about to shut this down anyway. About 3.5 hours.
We appreciate it.
What's up, AB? I ain't see you in the chat section. What's going on, Joe Rist? And shout out to Jermaine and Sea Devil. Mm-hmm. Hey, I can't forget my second favorite Seminole, Kevin Lee. He's in there. I haven't seen him in the chat, but every time I give shout outs and he's like, "Oh, you forgot me," but no, not this time, Kevin Lee. My second favorite Seminole fan. What's going on? Villain. Who else? G in the chat. Thank you guys. Fake Bills, fake crowd noise. Jamie Rakehart. As always, man. Look, we appreciate y'all for showing support. Y'all the reason why we're here and keeping everybody entertained, man. So, and don't forget, Finsanity 5. Yes, Finsanity 5. Shout out to you as always, man. I definitely want to get her in the blender this season, man. Hey, Sal, what's going on, Sal? I definitely want to get Finsanity in the blender this year, season 2,
Blender
as a
all
guest, and hopefully she'll be
Yeah.
gracious enough to join me. But
And
anyway,
thanks again, everybody, for the birthday wishes. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
for sure.
Color missed about one day
Getting
from having a birthday once every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Or
actually, I missed it by more than that because it was 77, so there was no 29th that year.
yeah, a couple of
I
years.
think
Yeah,
76 was or
80.
78 was the next
And
year. I think
80 was the following
76.
year.
Yeah,
Right,
then it would have
80.
been
Oh,
76
that's what's
before
up.
that.
Oh yeah, Finsanity 5. I appreciate that.
Yeah, a couple of years. Yeah, because in 1980 was the next time it came around.
Bill's fake
That
crowd
extra
was
day.
telling me Merry Christmas in Spanish. They never stopped, ain't it?
Put it.
No, but I vouch for Joe. I can't vouch for AB, but maybe Joe's saying he might have been misread, but
Hey,
I've
there you
met
go. There go Kevin Lee.
good dude, but I
That's
can't
my
speak for
second
AB.
favorite Seminole fan.
I got him blocked. I don't even see his comments.
So yeah,
X Factor.
my man, my best friend, man of the hour. He's my favorite Seminole fan. Kevin Lee's my second favorite Seminole fan. By the way, yeah,
But if I could offer an answer though to a question earlier about why wait 9 months and all that, well, to be fair, if I was being strategical, you follow his contract situation and negotiations, and you could almost time it right to where it's like, because what's going to happen is if he gets some kind of settlement levied against him, or some kind of a ruling levied against him, then it's likely going to be some kind of percentage of his salary. You know what I mean? So they want to make sure his salary is the highest it could be when they get that ruling.
Hey, Color. No, I
Nothing wrong with that.
don't really have a problem with Joe. For me, I cannot
Oh, I know.
stand.
I just,
I cannot stand when people
I
look
know.
at this.
I can just say
These.
that Joe is a fair interlocutor. He's not trying to be confrontational.
Yeah,
I
but you
would
get my
imagine.
point where how these like people idolize these people and they look at them and be like, whenever something happens, without hearing any parts of the case or even just try to be strictly objectical about the situation. Oh, it's about money. They trying to take this person money. Like, and that's why I'll be honest, a lot of people with power and money, they get away with things because in the court of public opinion, that's always a narrative out there. And that's why I initially came up because I was hearing all this stuff about her, which it could be true, but you weren't hearing anything about the other side of the argument that we're looking at an individual that has made some public irresponsible decision with his brand, right? I'm not even going to the other stuff. I'm just saying his branding and it just seems to me he may want to reevaluate
I
his
mean, it is
staff.
peculiar.
Yeah, and you may want
Right.
to reevaluate, or it may be a situation where people are telling him to do certain things, like with the divorce, right? Like that really disgusts me because I was like, "Come on, Tyreek, you're not going to be able to use your charismatic charm because you run very fast and catch a football, and outright the law that someone had to file." Like when you went up there, you had to either give that person a power of attorney to speak on your behalf, which he later admitted, right? He later admitted that that lawyer had authorization to speak on his behalf. But you're going to act like we're so stupid that someone just made up a story that you filed for divorce when you could clearly go on Broward County Circuit clerk, Google his name, see his full name, see her name, and see the truth. And that's where I get agitated because that's how a lot of things these people with money get away with it because we look at their talents and forget that they could be human beings that commit crimes and do wrong by people just like everybody else.
But Nene, along with
Raisins
that,
in a potato salad,
along
G.
with that, all the
Really?
people they installed at the
Oh.
colleges have taught our kids that might
Raisins.
make what
Can't do it.
right. So in other words, he probably literally thought that for the most part, nationwide speaking, most people probably think he really didn't file for divorce. Because they literally just they've trained our younger generation to just believe everything. Like people, in other words, that's his personal reality, and we have to respect that.
Yeah. Well, it's also the flip side to that is because they have power and money, we are and the person is a nobody, we automatically assume that the person who doesn't have money and power are the victims all of a sudden.
I agree with that, Shake. And to me, when I came up here, that part of the argument was clearly stated from almost 95% of the people that were speaking and what was typed in the comments. What wasn't said was the part that I brought up, and Cap brought it up as well, about Tyreek is just really making some questionable decisions. And that's what, that ignited me to come up here and speak, because I've been trying to stay away from spaces in YouTube because of midterms. But at this point, whatever grade I'm going to get is what I'm going to get. I don't study. The test is tomorrow. So it is what it is. But I just think we can all learn that not everybody is as innocent or guilty because of their fame and their status.
See, with $0 in my bank account, I see them both as patricians anyway, Nene. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, to me, both of them are in such a higher station than me that it's like, whatever. Let them, like I said, let their insurance companies fight it out.
Right, because Shay did y'all do a show? Did y'all do a show when he went after some good journalists who did the report? Because here's the cause and effect of that. Tyreek goes on his Twitter and he says something about, let's say Adam Beasley reported that he did file for divorce because you can find it at this. And then Tyreek Hill says, fake news, that's a lie. Adam Beasley's a liar. Guess what happens to Adam Beasley's life because of crazy fans that just believe anything that their idols say and don't research anything? Like, I can only imagine that these people, because I even saw in the comments that they wanted members who reported that to be fired, right? And then a week or two came back. I don't think Tyreek even apologized.
Was that the Big O? Because he's notorious for calling for people's fire
jobs I don't know,
because of anytime
I'm
you buck the system.
I'm just going off of Tyreek's his words when he made that tweet. I think it was like, fake news. I love my wife, never filed for anything, right? And that they're lying. So people was going after all of the outlets that reported it. And I ain't talking about TMZ. I'm talking about the South Florida community that was reporting it. Can you imagine the backlash they got, the threats? Because that's what we do to societies. We love somebody because they have a talent or they have some type of title, and we start giving death threats to people and all this other stuff. We see it every day with the Tua situation. So I just didn't like it because I'm like, hey, when we talk about the timing, I hate that because a lot of people don't know that stuff with legal matters, it does run its course. It's not like Law and Order that you watch on TNT. Like, the case doesn't just happen like in 24 hours. Sometimes this thing takes months, depending on the availability of the clients. All these things are a part of a big pie. But to us, we put it on a timeline because we're the microwave generation that, the day that it should have happened, this should have happened, and this should have happened. Because when I watched Netflix, the show was 2 hours and I got all the information. That's not real life and how law works.
No, not quite.
No, we know it. We know what they're doing up we know what they're doing up in the Georgia's DA's office.
Yeah. And since you brought it up, I just felt she should have been a little bit responsible that, anybody that's going to bring up charges on that individual, they are going to dig in every skeleton in every closet that you ever lived in. So, but to me, she's been kind of preparing herself. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but let's be honest. That individual has been caught for, grabbing female genitals. Didn't he just get charged with sexual assault case? So, like, we can't just pick what moral compass is in terms of the sexual aspects of that district attorney. But see, look how y'all got me going on. Y'all know how to get me pumped up. This stuff will get me wrapped up. But yeah, I didn't like
they're all
that.
bailing on each other now, Nene. The texts are coming out. I mean, it's like it's bad, man. Like anybody doing
But anyway,
actual work
hey,
up there?
I'm gonna go ahead and close the stream down, y'all. Unless you want to keep it going, Color.
No, because it'll devolve. And I don't want to. We ought to start another channel for that, Nene. You know?
Yeah, well, you know,
And we
Color.
got to change our identities before we start talking about all that stuff.
Like I said, be on the checkout. We're gonna be doing the AFL episode. Like I said, for and especially Black History is ending tomorrow. We're gonna be doing. I'm gonna be talking about the first GM. I have the name written down here. What's his name?
You mean Insomnia? You said the checkout.
Insomnia, yeah, Insomnia. No, we're gonna do a pre-record tomorrow. And we'll talk about the Lloyd Wells and Buck Buchanan, who was the first Black draft overall out of AFL. From the AFL, he was the first Black player to be drafted first overall. In the whatchamacallit,
before the merger.
Yeah, before the merger. Out of any league, he was the first one. Buck Buchanan and then Lloyd Wells was the very first Black GM. So,
hey, Shake, I meant to ask Color if we get some type of actions, i.e., Kristen Wilkins gets an extension to it. Will you guys be breaking in and opening the panels?
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
all of the.
Oh yeah, listen,
off-season
I
free agency
guarantee you,
moves.
if when and here's the thing, I want to try to do a format on Wednesdays. El Capitan came on, and once El Capitan comes on, he rarely comes on, so we throw rules out the window because it's a treat to get him in the fold every once in a while. But on Wednesdays, I'm trying to do a call-in show where we'll bring out topics and everybody gets 10 minutes uninterrupted to speak their mind and get to hear opinions and things like that. So that's what I want to do. And maybe every once in a while, I'll if somebody wants to challenge that person, I'll bring them up and they could talk one-on-one. But other than that, yeah, Nene done left.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do in the off season around here. Wait for reasons to bust out a tailgate. And man, there was a couple years back, July 27th, man, like a couple years back, where it was absolutely dead. It was like the absolute dead of the off season. It didn't get no deader than that night. I don't even think we talked about football.
Hey, Kevin Lee, we'll see you in we'll see you in November, Kevin Lee. I'll see you in November. Last week of November.
They had the I was going to mention, given that we're nearing leap day. Fun fact about leap year: the actual day is only 23 hours and 56 minutes long. It's only a 4-minute offset, but really it's not for every 4 years. It's for the 100-year celestial time that they're making a correction for.
Right. And you're also talking, well, that's on the metric scale, but if you're talking about the customary scale, then it is each year is actually 365 and a quarter days long, hence needing to add a full day every 4 years.
Right.
Hey, by the way, Kevin Lee.
Yep, that's why we got that 4 minutes every 23 hours and 56 minutes.
You're talking about at the atomic time level, yeah.
Right.
It's actually, but it's funny how it still makes sense. It's just that the scale has to be longer. You know what I mean? For it to match up, the symmetry or the it's like almost like a gauge theory. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, speaking in miles instead of inches.
Right. So
like
eventually, in 1 century, we will
365 and a quarter roughly. But we have to add a day. But, at the atomic decimal level, too, every 100 years, we'd have to add this many days. So it still factors out to be a day every 4 years.
Every 4 years, right. Yeah. They get this precise measurement in space.
Right.
Yeah, to get our exact
precision in space. That's how they know something's true. When, that's how they know something's true.
Cool. Right. But so anyway, let me close this out by saying thank you for everybody for coming in. By the way, this Friday is the open panel. Don't forget, March 30th is the W energy drink at 10 o'clock Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Fruit punch.
We're gonna
Don't
be
forget
doing.
fruit punch.
Hey, listen. After that, we're gonna be doing on the weekends. It's gonna be off season, off topic weekends where we discuss. Saturday mornings we'll talk everything under the sun. You know, being that it's off season.
Since it's February 28th, and almost the 29th, last day of Black History Month, G brings up Crispus Attucks. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was this not the gentleman that was the first casualty recorded in the American Revolution?
Yep. Crispus Attucks.
Crispus Attucks.
Crispus Attucks.
A black man, the very first.
I thought his name was Christmas, though. I thought it was Christmas. But whatever.
No, it's Crispus.
Christus. Yeah. Christ. That's STMASMUS.
Yeah, that's who it was. That was the one. I trust me. I watched Revolutionary. I studied that thing. I watched it in and out. I loved it.
I mean, if you're talking about,
there was a lot of Brits in the British Army.
Talking about men who started this nation and built this nation. You can't get no more than being the first guy to die for it.
Yep. And last but not least, being that next month, March, is Women's History Month?
Women's History now. Who was the first woman to die?
Yeah, actually, I just want to give a shout out.
Secret spy
being
they were spies
Women's
at that
History
time.
Month, I just want to give a shout out to FSU because they were the women's college, and they still are.
Right.